This is Chicago Hockey Radio with your hosts, Justin Lynch, Charlie Weber, Natalie Chibi, and Andrew Nolan.
Welcome back to the show, CHR enjoyers. Welcome on this brilliant Friday.
The
government
Frondell Friday
has once again let us get to Friday. They're absolutely furious
I
right
can't
now.
believe they let it happen, realistically. I can't believe it.
Week after week. What are they doing, right?
Unbelievable, man.
But also, happy Frondell Friday to the boys here.
Absolutely.
That is
Happy
right.
Frondell Friday. We will have plenty to say about Anton Frondell today. What a game he had yesterday with
Unreal.
the Michigan, the Snipe. We'll get into it later. But for now, we are once again switching up. We're doing NHL Hour and then Blackhawks Hour. And we got a lovely guest in the queue today, Jacob Titus, who is a Dallas Stars writer. We got him in the queue and ready to go. Nolan, I believe there's an area you want to start here.
Yeah, Jacob, thank you so much for taking your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Anytime.
So last week, Justin and I had a debate on the show. We were talking about just the difference in tiers between Mikko Rantanen and Jason Robertson. Justin was saying that, there's such a large gap. I don't think the gap is so much there as Justin does. What are your thoughts on, the gap between the two players?
I mean, I don't think anybody's questioning the fact that Mikko Rantanen is, if not a top 10 player in the league, then a top 15 player in the league. He's got plenty of pedigree. I think, this season, despite his struggles, he has shown that, he can work off of players that aren't named Nathan McKinnon. And so I think that has genuinely solidified him as a top tier talent in the league. As for Jason Robertson, I heard this conversation for sure. I like Jason Robertson a lot. He has that historical pedigree. The 110-point season was brought up on the podcast. That definitely is worth something. But I will say, there are some aspects to his game that make me think that he's just a tier below. In particular, I think his skating is definitely a factor that holds him back a little bit. But I do think that if he were given the right opportunities again, we could very well see a 90-plus point season out of Jason Robertson. So, I guess I'd land probably somewhere in the middle. I'm playing politician here, but
Okay.
yeah, he's definitely a good player.
All right, and big topic around Jason Robertson. This offseason, there was a lot of talk about him being on the move with his impending contract next year. Where do you see Jason Robertson's future next season?
It really depends on the salary cap. I actually, funnily enough, wrote a piece just yesterday talking about Thomas Harley and, of course, the two major extensions that happened over the past couple of days with Luke Hughes and I'm having a brain fart.
Jackson
Lacombe,
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, both getting $9 million, both left shot defensemen, both in their early 20s. The big difference, though, is that these guys are coming off of their rookie contracts. Thomas Harley's coming off of a $4 million bridge. You're probably going to have to spend at least around 20 million to keep both of them. And it really depends on the salary cap. If we see the salary cap go up to, I think 103 or so, which is what it's projected right now as the conservative estimate, you're only keeping one of them. That's for damn sure. You're not going to be able to keep both of those guys. And it probably is going to be Jason Robertson on the way out. But it's very possible. I actually read an Athletic article recently which said that at least some agents, at least an agent believes that it could rise up to $113.5 million as of next year, which, I mean, if that's the case, I think that they could probably get it done. Would they have to move a lesser piece? But probably. But, I think as it sounds right now, the Dallas Stars want to wait out until the end of the season to kind of figure out what's going on Jason Robertson. I'm not sure if that's going to be, they want to see if he can be that 100-ish point player again, or if he's just going to be an 80-point player, but or if it's going to be, because of the cap. But I think this is definitely going to be a wait and see moment. I think a lot of people want action, especially after this offseason, which has been a bit lackluster in terms of it. I think we're going to see a lot more around the trade deadline on whether Jason Robertson stays a Dallas Star or not.
What do you project these contracts to come in at? If you had to guess what the Robertson deal looks like and the Harley deal, what would you put that at? I know you probably have to let the season develop, but let's just say they signed like today for whatever reason. What would you put that at?
I mean, look, Jackson Lacombe. I'll just do Thomas Harley first. Thomas Harley is a guy who's had about, I think, a half a point per game average over his career. He's been solid defensively. He's been a workhorse in the playoffs. He's been very dependable. Not a number one guy on the team because they have Miro Heiskanen. I think that could hold him back from getting the upper echelon, but I would have no shock in my mind if his agent uses that. The fact that he has been dependable in the playoffs, the fact that he has, I mean, he does have the pedigree at Four Nations as well, to try and get around that $10 million range, if not $9 million, to come in line with Luke Hughes. Luke Hughes, of course, slightly above Harley in terms of point per game average, but definitely worse defensively. As for Robertson, I mean, really, it could be, depending on how this season goes, it could be anywhere between, again, 9 million, but anywhere as high as 11.5, maybe even 12. I would hesitate around getting him in the $12 million range. But the thing is that with the cap going up by so much, I mean, there's an expectation around the league that within 7 years the cap might double from what it is right now. If you can get these guys locked down for long-term contracts, even if it's a bit pricey right now, it's very likely that those deals are going to look promising in the future, even if you see some regression later down the line. So, I do wonder if the team decides, hey, even if the cap's not going up, it might be better to just bite the bullet and try to move some, maybe slightly less expensive guys, but more of them, just to try and get those key pieces locked down for the future.
Not to circle back in our debate there, but Rantanen's coming off of just an absolute dominant playoff performance. Who would you consider him the top dog in the Dallas locker room right now, and how does that affect the dynamic in the room?
I mean, it definitely helps. That's for sure. I don't think anybody's disagreeing that Mikko Rantanen, made a tremendous impact. I think some people, when he first arrived to the Dallas Stars, there was a few question marks. It didn't seem like the chemistry was entirely right, especially after now signing that massive extension as well. That he finally settled down, but it didn't look like he settled in. In the playoffs, there was no doubt that he settled in by then. For sure, Mikko Rantanen coming to the organization is a sign that things are moving in the right direction in terms of his own personal experience. I guess the fact that coming into this off season, with the issues, I'm having a brain fart right now, but in Finland he got charged with draft dodging. I don't know how that'll affect his season and if that will, have some sort of mental affect on his play. But, I do think he has come into the locker room as the top dog. Sometimes when you have a player coming in, breaking the mold, you see, a shift in the way that the locker room reacts, because you have a group of players who are so used to playing with each other, so congealed in terms of their experiences and in terms of the way they act around each other, that sometimes adding a major piece, a major character, can break that mold. I don't think it necessarily has so far, and I think in terms of whether it will, we'll have to wait and see with this season. But so far, I think, at least on a personality basis, the fit seems good.
How open would you say that the Dallas Stars cup contending window is? I think pretty much everybody agrees they're a top contender, at least this season. But obviously, depending on how it goes and who they're able to lock up and who they're not, how long would you say the window is open there?
That's a great question. They have a lot of pieces locked down. I'd say fairly long. I mean, obviously, Mikko Rantanen, the Tyler Seguin contracts, it's not ideal, but like Rupi Hintz is locked down. Miro Heiskanen's on for a few years. Esa Lindell, of course. If they can get, Harley and Robertson locked down completely, I mean, really the sky's the limit, at least for like the next 3-4 years, 5 maybe. But if they have to get rid of a player like Robertson, or even Thomas Harley. I think that's a player that's not really being brought up as much, but if they have to get rid of a player like that, I definitely think that it'll hamper their chances in the future. I think they're in a very unique position where they have a lot of key players that are just really dominant, and they have a lot of depth right now. They've weaponized their cap space pretty well. I'd say they've definitely taken a step back in terms of the depth compared to last year. With many key pieces going, but I wouldn't be surprised if they add at the trade deadline again. But eventually you're not going to be able to secure cheap depth to keep up, and you're going to have to pay those guys. I mean, Sam Steele, Radek Fox is coming in at over $2 million. It's not much, but these are guys that ideally you could find in free agency for around league minimum if you're a contender.
Yeah.
So, if Robertson goes, and I think that's a big if, but if he does, I think that could definitely jeopardize their chances as a true contender and then knock them down a tier to being more of just a playoff team.
There's one other contract I want to bring up. It's the Tyler Seguin deal. That Seguin deal is at 9.85 for the next 2 seasons. How much do you think this helps or hinders the Dallas Stars going into next offseason with some crucial younger guys that need to be signed long term?
I think it's going to be really interesting, especially with Glenn Gulutzan coming back as head coach. Very curious to see how he plays. Not just the players he's least familiar with, the newer guys like Mikko Rantanen to the organization, as well as the newer guys to him, like, again, Harley, Hintz, and Robertson. Or if he's going to rely on those older guys that have been around the first time he was coaching the team, guys, like Ben and like Seguin. I think, Seguin is still a fairly dependable player, but obviously not worth the $9.8 million he's making. I think nobody's saying that at this point, but I think there's going to have to be sort of a cost benefit analysis on whether having that cohesiveness, having that player that's been with the team for a long time, that's really like in with the organization. I guess not so much in with the systems anymore. Whether it makes sense to make a move like that. To harken back to like the Ottawa Senators example with Josh Norris. Josh Norris was a piece that, you could argue was being overpaid in Ottawa. He gets traded to the Buffalo Sabres, and it immediately creates a rift in the locker room. And did it hinder them? You could argue maybe in the short term, yes. But I think this is, again, going to be a decision to explore in the offseason with that final season. Is he a potential buyout candidate? I'm not sure. I think that really depends on this season. And whether they're willing to weaponize their cap in that regard. But, it is entirely a possibility that they might have to cap dump him if they want to continue their contention, or even keep a guy like, Jason Robertson around.
He just sounds like a shark, doesn't he?
Oh, gosh. Right. Oh, he does. Speaking of guys who've been around Dallas a long time, Jamie Benn, I'm sure everybody wants to see him win a cup in Dallas over there. Tough to lose him, the impact, of his injury this season, and the fact that he also needs a new contract pretty soon. Just speak about the impact of, that's not like a guy you can replace in the room, your captain, your leader. What's kind of like the status in the room right now? Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine, again, it would be very much similar to Tyler Seguin. If Tyler Seguin ends up going, not having a key player around, it definitely impacts the team. I am curious to see how that will affect the Dallas Stars right out of the gate. Because, even with good teams, like if you don't get going at the beginning of the season, sometimes that could just stink a season. Yeah. And especially with, the new coach coming in, I wonder, just how, what the expectations are for this season, because this is a team that very, very much sort of unprecedentedly in the modern era has hit the conference finals 3 times in a row, lost 3 times in a row. And so, with Glenn Gulutzan coming in, is the expectation, hey, we got to hit that or higher? Or is this sort of a season of just sort of testing the waters, seeing okay, let's see how the players adapt to the system, and then next year is the all-in year.
Yeah.
I think, especially again with the Robertson and Harley situations, that that really hurts the idea that they're going to test the waters this season. Because if you lose one of those guys, I don't think the Dallas Stars are a legit bona fide top 3, top 5 team.
Yeah. You mentioned going to 3 straight Western Conference Finals. I would just want to know, like, who do you think is the biggest key to getting over that hump? Is it Jake Ottinger having a great playoffs? Is it defensive? Is it the forwards? I think it would be Ottinger, obviously, but I wanted to hear your thoughts.
I mean, it is entirely, it's hockey's a team game. I'm just going to go out and say that. I think Jake Ottinger has gotten them there to the conference finals many times over, the past 3 playoffs. He's been a major factor in that. I don't want to entirely say that it's all on Jake Ottinger, because I think that would be wrong, but he definitely has an impact on this team. You can't let 3 goals in the first period. That's just not acceptable. But also simultaneously, you've got to also kind of blame the team in front
right,
for letting that happen, letting those chances happen. So I think it is more of a collective team effort. You look at the Edmonton Oilers.
Right.
I guess are also in a similar position. In their case, I think you could blame it a bit more on the goaltending, but there has to be a certain point where the players get to that next level. Mikko Rantanen showed that early in the playoffs. I think he's going to be a major factor in that as well. I think Ottinger is going to be a big factor in terms of trying to get them to the Stanley Cup Finals and hopefully, win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that situation is still crazy to me. The way that Peter DeBoer just kind of threw him under the bus. And it's like, man, Otter is definitely one of the more important, valuable players. It definitely wasn't on him. So
another goalie that he's done that too. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Because he did that to Fleury too in Vegas.
Fleury in Vegas, yeah. So it's a bit of a pattern. So I mean, it tells you it meant a lot there. Where it's like, man, this is one of the best coaches in the league, and you took him to 3 straight conference finals. But that was so bad to where they felt a change was needed. You've spoken a bit about the new coaching change and regime under Glenn Golitzin. But yeah, like where would you say kind of the temperature in the room is from that regard so far? Like expectations, like you were speaking about, is this a year where does it raise expectations? Does it lower it? Is it a test in the waters year? Like early diagnosis, what would you say? Would you say it raises the bar or kind of, same kind of type deal there? Yeah.
I think hiring an assistant coach for the team that has made the Stanley Cup Finals over the past 2 seasons, a team that has beat you as well. I think it definitely raises the bar. I think if it was any other coach, I would say maybe this would be a year for tempered expectations. But again, with Robertson, with Harley, potentially coming off the books, there are restricted free agents, but teams are sort of seem to be vying to potentially throw offer sheets at those guys. So if they hit the open market again, that could be another way that the Stars end up losing those players. But I think with Golitzin, the expectation is, to at the very least reach the conference finals again, or preferably get over that hump, which, those are major expectations for a head coach who has struggled, even making the playoffs when he's been given that role. But, I don't think he's had a team quite like this Dallas Stars. And so, I do wonder what he is able to accomplish with a team that is, that has had success over the past, even if they haven't gone over the hump yet. And, whether he can be that thing that pushes them over the hump.
It'd be an interesting Stanley Cup final. Dallas versus Carolina. I brought this up before. Two
we
very
both brought it
similar
up.
boats.
Yeah, we both brought it
They're
up.
two teams that have both, consistently get to the conference finals, but could just never get past that last stump. I'm sure, I think Gary
Bettman
Bettman would love
it.
a Dallas Carolina Stanley Cup final. Who would you take in that scenario? Yeah.
You know what? I can't lie. I actually had Dallas Carolina as
No way.
the Stanley Cup final the last 2 seasons.
Oh.
And
Third time's a charm, right?
This past year, I was just like, God, like, how does it keep happening?
I know, right? Yeah, I thought last year was the year.
I felt like an idiot for calling it again, and I felt even more like an idiot when it didn't materialize.
Hey, you're pretty close.
So,
I mean, you're as close as you can get without getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
A big reason for the success of the Dallas Stars, I feel like, it has been Miro Heiskanen. There's a big crop of that kind of defenseman, upper echelon like Makar and Hughes, and you even bring a guy like Lane Hudson into the mix now. Do you ever think that Miro Heiskanen will get over the hump and win a Norris Trophy one day?
That's a great question. I part of me says no, and that's because when you look at sort of the Norris voting, it's more so focused on point production and offensive prowess, and Heiskanen has really blossomed into like a genuine premier shutdown defenseman in the league, and so I think that kind of hurts his chances at winning a Norris. I also think the knee injury as well this past season.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that will affect his play moving forward, especially the mobility, which is, so important for his game. I'm not too sure if he gets over the hump, to be completely honest. He is a perennial, top flight defenseman, but I just don't know if he's quite in the tier of the Hugheses. Well, just the Hughes. I don't know if Luke Hughes is quite there. Unless Jack Hughes changes to D. I don't know. But Hughes or Makar or any of those guys, I don't think he's quite in that level. I don't know if he'll get to that level. I think it's a bit late for that. But, I think he is a key defenseman that really just, if he was not on this team, the impact would be felt immediately.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite defensemen to watch in the league.
Yeah, I just think Finland really missed him.
Yeah, Finland really did miss him, and I just think that he's going to be such a huge piece for the Dallas Stars moving forward.
No, for sure. I think in like that next tier, like after Norris winners, like he's right up there.
I think he's like it's like 1A, 1B with him and Jacob Slavin.
For sure. We've spoken a lot about guys who are going to get a bag, but what about guys who have already gotten a bag? Mr. Game 7, Wyatt Johnston.
Yeah, Mr. Game 7.
I've been seeing a lot of like U23 like rankings in the NHL. Where would you rank Wyatt Johnston amongst those U23 forwards or players in the NHL, I should say?
I think Wyatt Johnston's a fantastic player. It's really impressive how they were able to find him as kind of sort of a diamond in the rough in the first round. Late, not a lot of people had him as pegged as a potential superstar, let alone a top 6 guy, and he's definitely flourished into a key contributor for the team. When it comes to Johnston, I'm not too sure exactly where he lands. He's still 22, which that's very young, so he should have some more runway to grow there. But I do wonder if he can break that sort of upper echelon of player. I don't think he's quite hit the elite tier yet, but it's entirely possible he could be an elite player based off of his trajectory so far and play so far. And if he is, man, that $8.4 million contract is going to look good.
Oh yeah. Especially if the cap rising the way it is.
It just seems like every single series that I watched with the Dallas Stars over the last 2 years. I mean, it's just Wyatt Johnston dominating the playoffs.
Big goal, clutch goal.
Big goal, clutch goal. I think he's taken over. He either has or will take over the moniker of Mr. Game 7 over Justin Williams.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And Stars got a lot of like those like likable vets. Speak about Tyler Seguin. What about a guy like Matt Duchene? Matt Duchene. I think that's a guy we all want to see. As a Blackhawks fan, a Patrick Kane lover, like I love seeing him do the heartbreaker a couple of years ago.
That was awesome.
A couple of interviews he's done, Spin Check, which just seems like a really good guy. Yeah, just his impact on the room. Yeah.
I mean, hey, look. Matt Duchene, even at 34, he's still a legit player. He could still contribute. Is he still the Matt Duchene that we know and love from before? Maybe not, but he is a key player, and the fact that they were able to secure him long term for $4.5 million is insane. I'm sure it had something to do with the state taxes, but
that's been a topic of debate.
Yeah, that's been huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We're talking about all these centers right now. We're talking about Hintz, Robertson, and Duchene, or Hintz, Johnston, and Duchene.
Right.
My apologies.
You're good.
Where do you rank these the 1 through 3 centers in the league? Because I think it's number 1 in the league.
It's up there. Florida's hard to beat. I know Barkov's gonna be out, but yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about this season, if it's not number 1, it's definitely in the top 3, for sure. Like, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a team with such strong center depth And it's interesting too, because teams build to have the center depths like the Dallas Stars, to have just guys down the lineup, 1 through 3, even 1 through 4. I don't think we'll get a repeat of last year where it just, the depth wise, you could probably make 5 or 6 lines out of the Dallas Stars last year. I don't think we're going to quite get that this year, but definitely first 3 lines just really impactful for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed in Dallas is they've definitely perfected the art of letting their kind of young guns marinate in the minors so that when they call them up to the NHL, they're ready to go. I think it's something you see with a guy like Wyatt Johnston. Would you agree that's sort of been like impactful in terms of making sure these guys are ready to go when they get to the NHL? It seems like that's been a big part of the key to their success lately.
Well, yeah, I mean, to use a sort of a cooking analogy, like you got to let it marinate, but you can't let it burn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think some teams definitely rush players too early. I think you take Kevin Korchinski with the Chicago Blackhawks. It's a sore topic.
No,
but
right.
we 100% agree with that.
We talk about it all the time. Yeah.
And then on the other side, you have teams like the Detroit Red Wings, where it's like they just bury guys in the minors until they're 25. Like, what are you doing?
You gotta find a middle ground.
Sebastian Kosick cannot be your 4th string.
No. Yeah, no,
it's 2025, going on 2026. But Dallas has definitely been impactful in that. And I'd say another underrated aspect, especially recently, is the fact that they have been able to find guys, sort of like the Chicago Blackhawks did in the 2010s, just undrafted guys, signing them as free agents. Just this season, we're looking at guys like Arttu Huru, who has been just massively impactful for the Texas Stars. Just a big body power forward, could definitely play down the lineup, can play 4C as well. Justin Ritskovian as well, both undrafted, who can probably slot into the lineup. Very possible that at least one of them ends up making opening night roster. I think between just having, a strong farm system, great mobility between the farm system, not waiting too long, but also not taking guys out before they're ready, and finding those underrated gems that just kind of have gone off the radar. I think it's a match made in heaven so far for the Dallas Stars right now.
It's been quoted on that Kyle Davidson really looks towards Jim Nill as like inspiration for these oversaturation of prospects.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Yeah. So do you have like a bit of advice for us Hawks fans regarding that?
Patience.
I mean, yeah, patience for sure. Absolutely. I think that's a big thing, especially in rebuilds. I mean, you kind of feel like you just want to get these guys into minutes, but if you can't guarantee them the top 6 minutes, or like top pair minutes, and certainly if they're not ready for that, you definitely don't want to rush. We were speaking about Lacombe earlier. The Anaheim Ducks are a really interesting situation as well, because it seems like ever since like 2014, 2013, their decor should be like, it's just, there's guys upon guys upon guys, and you'd think it would be overcrowded, but for some reason they just seem to develop guys on a consistent basis, even if they've got 6 bona fide NHLers in the NHL, and then they have 6 guys who are on the come up. I mean, nobody was really thinking of Jackson Lacombe as a premier prospect, and then he jumped up.
He came up out of nowhere.
Like Jamie Drysdale. He came up over guys like Pavel Mintyukov, who, I mean, Mintyukov in his own right, great player.
Yeah,
got no issues with him, but yeah.
What do you think about these crazy deals with defensemen in the open market? I mean, Hughes $9 million wasn't too surprised to me. Maybe a little more than he probably should be making, but I wasn't too shocked. The Lacombe one, though.
Lacombe, I mean, that was.
How much is Harley? Is Harley going to be making 9? 10? I mean, he should be making more than Lacombe. I think he's better than him, but
10-5.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like it's insane too, because especially over the past few years, it feels like there's been a saturation with regards to the guys, the defensemen who get the big paycheck are mostly the guys who are right shot defensemen. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Hughes and Lacombe, these guys are left shot defensemen. Mm-hmm. Imagine what a right shot defenseman would be going in this market. 11.5.
General managers love their right shot defenseman.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm scared about Sam Renzel's next contract.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about it earlier with the 3 straight conference finals. Pretty much what was it? Vegas and then Edmonton. What do you think is the biggest key for Dallas to quote unquote slay the dragon against Edmonton if they come up against each other in the conference finals?
Slay the dragon. Why'd you have to bring up 2011 Vancouver, man?
I mean, it's just the only comp I can think
All right,
of.
oh, you're all good.
I definitely think it's probably a mental hurdle at this point. Insanity is trying the same thing over and over and then, getting the same result.
Yeah.
But in this case, you kind of want to get to the conference finals again. And if you're Glenn Gulutzan, especially going up against your former team, you probably also want to go up against your former team as well, because you know the inside
Motivation.
Yeah, the revenge tour kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Man
and,
behind
and
the
you
curtain.
know their systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
know their systems, you know how they operate. So I definitely think that a lot of it's going to be mental, and I think that's where Jake Ottinger can come into play as well, especially for a goaltender. I mean, it's really funny because I was having a conversation with some people, and this is going to sound a little insane, but you almost kind of want to value having like a dumb hockey player in the sense that they can't hear the outside noise. They're completely oblivious.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
And so my worry for Jake Ottinger, a good college boy, is that
He's too smart. He's got that education.
he's too wicked smart.
We love our BU guys here.
Absolutely. Jacob, you've been super gracious of your time. One last question. When do you expect your Central Division rival, Chicago Blackhawks, to be a problem?
I mean, for themselves or
For you guys.
or for the rest of the league?
For the rest of
Been
the
a
league,
problem for themselves.
I think it's going to be still a couple years.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of great young pieces. I mean, obviously Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
What's there to be said about that? I know a lot of people were dogging him this year. I think that was a bit unfair. I think as the team begins to make more and more steps forward, I think Connor Bedard's really going to flourish into that player that we saw when he was drafted. I mean, obviously Sam Rinzel as well, to see just how quickly his developmental curve has been from a guy who was playing just Minnesota high school hockey when he got drafted late, super raw. And, he's got the mobility. I don't know quite yet if he's going to be, that minute eating defenseman this season that he was at the end of last year. I don't think he's quite ready for that, but I think that's definitely an area where he will sort of gradually get towards. Artem Levshinov, of course. I mean, I could just go on and on with the names of young prospects in the system. I think it's certainly going to be at least a few more years. I'm sure you guys are thinking that this is probably going to be another rebuild year. Yeah. And so you guys are probably looking at the draft.
We're just hoping to get out of the bottom 5, I think.
Gavin McKenna.
Or get Gavin McKenna.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, look, this year's a really interesting year for the draft. I mean, there's just so many guys who are just electric. Even outside of Gavin McKenna, you've got guys like Tynan Lawrence, who I don't know if you guys were following the USHL last year.
He was on fire.
Just electric.
Frendel's
Electric
teammate, Bjork.
Viggo Bjork.
Stenberg.
Ivor Stenberg,
Veerhoff, he's a defenseman.
Yeah, I mean, also defenseman Xavier Villeneuve of the Q is just so
he's unreal. Playing for the Armada up there, he's going to be unreal.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of great consolidation prizes in the draft this year. So even if you guys end up, getting out of the bottom 5 and you don't quite get the pick that ends up landing McKenna, I don't know if you guys have been watching Will Scouch's stream, but he actually had him 4th overall. So
what?
Yeah,
that's gotta be rage bait. That's gotta be rage bait.
We haven't talked about that take, but I did see that take.
We'll talk
I thought
about
it was
that.
unreal.
Unreal. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll see about that one. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jacob, for your time. We really appreciate you, and you're welcome back. You're welcome back anytime for sure. Best of luck if your Dallas Stars season. We'll see if you guys can bring home that cup.
Yeah. Best of luck with you guys as well. Hope you guys land McKenna at 16.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Have a good one.
Have a great one.
Have a good one.
Awesome. All right, that was a tremendous discussion.
Yeah,
good
that was,
stuff.
yeah.
Some juicy Dallas Stars talk. Our division rival. I mean, they haven't really been division rival lately because we haven't exactly been in the mix of late. But hopefully, we'll be giving them a bit of a test.
I can't really remember a time the Blackhawks and Stars, like in my watching experience, have been rivals.
No.
Last time the Hawks were good.
Opposite peaks. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, when in terms of all the Central Division teams, I think Dallas is like the one that I like the most.
Yeah, I don't feel any sort of vengeance or hatred towards them like I might any other.
for me,
Nashville,
it's
St. Louis, Minnesota, or Colorado in a sense, but
that's actually an
I'll throw
interesting
Utah in there,
discussion.
too.
That's an interesting discussion.
Yeah, Utah, just because we're rising at the same time. I'm not a big fan of Logan Cooley, but we can get into that later.
Not a big Cooley guy.
No, not a big. Cooley
I would
guy.
say Avalanche. I know there are a lot of people that don't like the Avalanche. I like the Avalanche. They're just a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Like their top end talent's so fun. Guys like McKinnon, McCarr used to have Rantanen, no longer, but now he's a star. I would say I was seeing Rantanen get his revenge in the playoffs last year was absolute cinema.
Yeah.
After that, I was hoping they would go all the way, but just didn't quite happen. But the thing with the Stars though is like they're one of those teams where it's like they're not just damn good right now, but it's like I don't really think they're going to go anywhere anytime soon because they also have such a good system.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just you're plugging and playing. You've got so much depth in that system that it's just like, how haven't you gotten over the hump yet? I mean, I get that you're playing in the same conference as the best player in the world, but
they're a deeper team. Like you think they'd be able
they're
to
such a deeper team.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between Skinner and Ottinger is like this.
Yeah.
Compared to Rantanen and Robinson, which whatever. I mean, their depth all throughout the lineup. You look at the depth throughout the lineup with Edmonton. It's just like Dallas has the potential of 2 number 1 defensemen. I mean, do we really think of Evan Bouchard as a number 1 defenseman? I don't know.
In terms of point production, but in terms of actual
that's great.
defending, I
No,
probably
he's
wouldn't
terrible
say
at
so.
defending.
Yeah, I mean, every game he's got a muffin in him, so or a
Yeah.
turnover. I mean, if you check Oilers' Twitter, there's always a lot of fun things to say about Bouchard on Oilers game days. He's always
he
always
was
something.
terrible in that game, in that final game in the Stanley Cup final this season. And I mean, that was when you were on the line. Your season's on the line. Evan Bouchard did not perform.
Yeah, no, and I think with the Stars, they have those defensemen like Heiskanen, where they just don't make those mistakes.
Heiskanen, Thomas Harley's coming into his own now. Asa Lindell is one of the most underrated
yeah, just
defensemen in
solid.
the league.
He's like their Vlasic.
He's like their Jomerson.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably giving him the credit he deserves. Speaking of defensemen, big news of the day. Well, really news yesterday, but also news today.
Hilarious.
That was a hell of a transition, really, from yours truly.
No, I'm not laughing at the transition. I'm laughing at the contract.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at too.
Jackson Lacombe, 8-year, $9 million contract with Anaheim Ducks. I almost laughed as I was saying that contract.
I'll laugh for you because this is absolutely ridiculous.
This is the richest deal in Anaheim Ducks history. So the highest paid player, who will be the highest paid player in Anaheim Ducks history as of this recording, is Jackson Lacombe. And I was seeing many people on Twitter who were like, who? I mean, obviously, if you know hockey, you know who Lacombe is, but a lot of casuals probably just learned who his name was yesterday. He's a solid defenseman, 14 goals, 29 assists in 75 games last year. Solid defenseman. He's going to be making the same amount of money as Luke Hughes, which, by the way, I thought that was an overpay.
I thought that was also
on the
an
Wednesday
overpay.
show, I was like, damn, Luke Hughes is going to be making almost double the amount of money as Alex Vlasic. Well, it's not just him. Jackson Lacombe is going to be making almost double the amount of money as Alex Vlasic. Jackson Lacombe.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I said it on last week's show. I'll say, or Wednesday show. I'll say it on this, show. I think Alex Vlasic has a better chance of making, the USA Olympic team than Jackson Lacombe.
Yes, I
won't
questioned
argue
Luke
that.
Hughes, but Lacombe, I think he does because I think he has more of that defensive game. Lacombe, there's definitely some comps to Hughes there, where offensive defensemen work on some aspects of the defensive game. But yeah, I think Vlasic clears from a defensive standpoint. Might not have the offensive ability of Lacombe, but I mean,
I
maybe
agree.
I'm being a homer here, but I would tend to agree with that assessment.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of offensive defensemen that are projected to make this USA team, you can't have
exactly.
You need that.
If you're not even bringing Lane Hudson into the orientation
Then you're not
camp,
going
Right.
to bring Jackson Lacombe.
you're not going to bring Jackson Lacombe to Milan. No,
Yeah,
there's
it's-
no way.
Dude, this
Yeah,
is
he
like
does have a better
Groundhog Day.
shot.
We're literally having the same conversation again. Because it's the because the defensive market's just so bloated now with this rising cap. I mean, early days here, but what's the Sam Renzel contract going to
No,
look
I mean,
like?
I am scared shitless. Like,
we haven't
trying to
seen a
see
full season of him yet, so we got to see what he does this year. But if he's in the Calder race, like we all seem to think he will be, I mean, if he drops, 30, 40 points this year. What's that deal going to look like? Is he going to make
especially
$9 million?
because, as we said on the interview, right-handed defensemen are more valuable than
right
left-handed
shot.
defensemen.
And these are left shot. These are right shot.
I mean, does that earn him an extra $1.5 million? We
It
don't
might.
know.
I mean, NHL GMs, they love their right shot defenseman. When they see a stud Russian there, compare with their franchise winger, they're going to take the right shot defenseman, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You know what I'm talking about
know what
there.
you're talking
and then
about.
when they see in free agency a right shot defenseman, they're going to give him $9.5 million.
So, question.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
If Sam Renzel does win the Calder,
Yeah.
what is he getting?
$10 million.
I was going to say, 10
He's
to 10
probably
and a
making
half.
$10 million.
Just
Well,
because of this.
On 32 Thoughts, it was talked about that the Lane Hudson camp, Montreal came in with an 8-year, $9 million extension, just like Jackson Lacombe. But the difference between Jackson Lacombe
The
and
Hudson
Lane
camp
Hudson
is not the Hudson camp looks at that and
No.
think, really? That's what you think of me? You think I should be making the same amount of money as Jackson Lacombe? Hell no.
I mean, we were just talking about it on last podcast. What was the over-under set at? $10 million. I think if you look at the Lacombe deal, you look at the Luke Hughes deal, you're looking now at the over-under 12.5. And I'm not crazy about thinking this, am I?
12 and a half.
12.5 for Lane Hudson.
How did we get from 9 to 12 and a half?
9 to 12.5. I mean, you got an extra 20 points in production. You've got a Calder trophy to your name.
So you think Lane Hudson's making more money than Mikko Rantanen?
That's where we're headed.
My goodness.
It's not a like it's
So
not like
Rantanen's going to be a steal. I mean,
Rantanen's going to be a
That's
steal
not
at
your
$12 million.
cap's going to go up.
I
a
get
ton
different
in the
position,
next
but that's
6
insane.
years of that deal for him. So
Yeah.
his 12 is going to look like a steal in 3 or 4.
Why the hell did the Avalanche just not give him the money? I don't understand the Avalanche, man. What were they thinking?
I don't get it. And another interesting thing I want to bring up to look, talking about Lacombe, he's the most expensive player in Anaheim Ducks history. Yeah. You look at a guy like Corey Perry, won a Hart, won a Stanley Cup. You look at Ryan Getzlaf, the face of that franchise, will have his number retired at some point. Timu Solani was also a Duck for a hot minute. I mean, you can go down the list. Like, Jackson Lacombe's your highest paid player in Ducks
It
history.
just doesn't sound right.
And he
it
hasn't
doesn't.
proven anything. Like, yeah, he had a breakout season last year, but that's one time, right? Like,
Yeah, what happens if he just regresses back to a third
it's a
pairing
lot of
defenseman?
hopium. It's like, dude, like it's not just like you look at this Anaheim Ducks roster and this decor. Like he's not the only one who's going to be making probably big buku bucks. I mean, they got Zellweger back there. They got Minchikov.
Pavel Minchikov, yeah.
They got a ton of young, promising defensemen here. There's not going to be room for all.
They
of them.
drafted another first-round pick in 2024 in Stian Stolberg, who didn't look half bad in Sweden last year. So, I mean, what does that mean for those three guys? We were talking about it on Wednesday's podcast with Simon Nemec in New Jersey, but now you got this. Plus, a couple more guys. Like, what does this mean for them?
Yeah, I mean, it tells you the Ducks, they expect Lacombe to be their number one in the future.
Yeah.
But, like, looking at these guys, like, I'm not even sure he's going to be better than either of those two I just mentioned, honestly.
No, I'm very high on Pavel Minchikov.
At least Minchikov. Zellweger might be a bit hopeful, but that guy was insane in the 2023 World Juniors.
Who wasn't insane
I mean,
in
to
the
be fair,
2023
everybody
World
was
Juniors,
insane in
yeah.
that team. I mean, that Bedard team. But, that's going to be an interesting situation to monitor there in Anaheim. But, yeah, if you get back to the defenseman talk, like, not, this year, but, like, pretty damn soon, we're going to have Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. Like, is Cale Makar going to be taking home $20 million?
Yes.
And then what does that mean for Quinn
he
Hughes?
is.
Is that $19.5 million?
Get ready to learn.
Or is it right there at $20 million? Is New Jersey going to pony up $20 million for Quinn Hughes?
That's hilarious. No.
I think we have a clip on what Jack Hughes' thoughts are on Quinn Hughes going to New Jersey.
Got a clip? Yeah. Let's hear from the Hughes brothers. Yeah. Jack Hughes. He's always a very clippable player.
Yeah, no, he's one of
He's a chill guy.
He's like one of my favorite personalities in the league.
Yeah, a lot of those good old American boys are.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you look at him, you look at guys like Cole Caulfield, Brady Tkachuk. Like this is all awesome here.
For sure. Yeah.
Matthew as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's like, no, you brought that question with the Devils decor. Like, if they view it where they're going to go after Quinn Hughes and bring him on for that price tag, like, there's not going to be room there either. They just extended Luke to a $9 million deal. So does Dougie Hamilton. He's also making $9 million. What happens to Dougie Hamilton? Do they trade him? Are they going to have room for two $9 million defensemen and Quinn? No. Somebody's got to go. It's not going to be Luke.
And then Nemec, what happens there?
Yeah, what if
happens
Nemec
to
breaks
Simon
out?
Nemec? Yeah.
Then what?
And isn't there another left-handed defenseman, Anton Silayev, who's also
they
coming
drafted
up
pretty high up as well.
They drafted him in the first half of the first
I look
round.
at this, it's like it feels like they're just going for vibe. Like Quinn Hughes is great, but it's like I don't really look at this Devils decor and think, man, this team really needs Quinn
They're
Hughes.
Quinn Hughes away. Yeah,
They're
not-
Quinn Hughes away, but it's like it's not like that defense needs Quinn Hughes. It's already super good.
Right.
You know, like maybe they should be focusing on getting Jack more help up front.
So
yeah, I
either
don't
these clips, hi everybody, either these clips aren't labeled or they aren't uploaded. So
would you like me to get back?
No,
there?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't actually. We're gonna play the game in front of everybody of the
guessing game.
The guessing game of which clip is potentially, or is this from yesterday?
It's from the it's on the 7th page of the board. It's on the right side.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
See?
Never mind. Okay, here we go.
No one knows ball, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, there you go. Nice clip.
When you're getting put on the team.
Regarding there's cameras around.
Okay, so keep in mind he's at like the context of this clip is he's at a big event and they ask him
The New Jersey Devils
Yeah.
charity gala that happened on Monday night. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why it's not like the best clip. It wasn't like somebody with a microphone in front of his face. This was like somebody on their phone. So
Yeah.
One thing I love about Jack Hughes is his sarcasm. Like he's definitely a guy who, like, some players are sort of like, you know, standoffish with the media, like they don't really call him out.
Yeah.
Jack Hughes is a guy who's never afraid to call the
No,
media out.
he does
Like,
not give a single fuck.
Like he's a guy where it's like if you ask Jack Hughes, you know, a not bright question, like he's going to call you out for. I'm not saying that was in this scenario, but I know there was a question earlier on in the media tour. They asked him, and he was like pretty like he already said something like, "Oh, that's 2 for this year," or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. We're
He's like,
2 for 2 on
That's
that.
the second time you've asked that question in this scrum. I think
That's what
I
it
think
was.
we're good for
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah,
And he's
that's,
like-
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, so that was a pretty funny moment.
But yeah, how about Jack there? You know, shutting down any tampering claims that anyone can put out there. He's like, yeah, there's cameras around. I can't say anything. But I mean, it's like everyone knows it's being talked about, but you can't really go out and say anything about it.
You think Tom Fitzgerald is, you know, you think he's having like weekly discussions with Jack Hughes on
Jack and Luke. You can bring
and
Luke in there too because Luke was quoted in yesterday's scrum saying he's pretty good friends with Tom Fitzgerald.
Right. So like, you think he's having weekly Hughes brothers discussions on trying to poach Quinn from Vancouver?
How do
All
I
right, boys.
become-
So this is our plan for this week. This is the agenda.
I think they have like all 3 brothers on a Zoom call every week or something. You know,
Quinn's
at
just
this
checking
point, all the connections are there.
Are they gonna have to do like a what Detroit did with Sergei Fedorov and just like, you know, try and take him from like a random place and just hijack him?
It's an interesting situation to monitor, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Another thing I want to bring up against with the Jackson Lacombe deal is what does this mean for the other RFAs coming up this year? Not just defensemen, but we also have some forwards coming up too. Leo Carlson and Cutter Gauthier are also both up this year. I mean, what does that mean for them? You could look at the Mason McTavish contract. Justin, how much was that contract?
6x7.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, which that's another thing. Which I get they play different positions. I understand that fact, but Jackson Lacombe making $2 million over Mason
Unreal.
McTavish.
That is unreal. And they
Do
had
we
to,
think Lacombe is more important to that future core than McTavish? Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
I don't know about that. I mean, you look at the amount of forwards that are in that forward core. I mean, I think that, and then you look at the defensemen on the defensive core. Like they're stacked. Like if they were to, I believe that Mason McTavish is more important.
Yeah, like that's the thing too. I mean, because like, there's a good chunk up here on offense too. I mean, you got Gauthier, you got McTavish, you got Carlson, you got a good bunch there. But I wouldn't say it was quite as much depth as the D. So from that standpoint, I would argue McTavish is more valuable. I mean,
I agree. I agree that McTavish is more valuable. Yeah.
or there's another argument you could pose. Well, they felt like they could, let Zegras go because of how much, firepower they got up front. So maybe from that standpoint, you could argue the opposite. It's an interesting discussion. Again, different positions, so you can't really comp. But I mean, you can though.
I mean,
it is.
So I'm going to jump in here a little
Yeah.
bit. So I think a couple of things. I think this is only going to drive the price up for those 2 players. Like they're going to look at this $9 million and have that be at or near their starting point probably when they go in for contract discussions. If we're talking full 7-8 year max term deals, right?
Right.
But But then you look at a guy like Mason McTavish, and that's where the Ducks are going to come in.
But I don't think the Ducks
Ducks
value.
side.
I don't think the Ducks value McTavish as much as they value. I think they really value Jackson Lacombe. I think they really value Leo Carlson. I think they really value Cutter Gauthier.
I would argue McTavish over Gauthier, but I agree with.
I'm talking about like
McTavish
what
or
Pat
Carlson.
Verbeek thinks.
Yeah, I agree that Carlson is over
They
McTavish.
grinded McTavish in this negotiation process. Like he was he missed the first 2 weeks of camp.
Right.
Who was he with again,
It was
Justin?
a struggle to get
The
him
Ottawa
this deal.
67.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
And he
Like he missed
signed
the first
for
2 weeks of camp.
6-7.
So I think those two guys on the RFA market are going to ask for a lot of money. The one question I have for you guys is like, do you think I put this in there for you guys? But I did want to ask, like, do you think like I think the big downfall potentially of this contract could be the amount of pressure that it puts on Jackson Lacombe to live up to the expectations that come with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he didn't really have that pressure this year,
Yeah.
but now he absolutely has that pressure. Some players, they rise to the challenge, like when they get that bag, and some, their performance sort of dips a little bit.
I know the microscope isn't like scorching hot in Anaheim,
But people are going to pay more attention
Yeah.
to him
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Like, I mean, a lot of people didn't even know who this guy was.
Yeah.
And I think
Half-
everybody's going to know who
half of
Jackson
hockey
Lacombe is
Twitter.
now. Yeah,
Half of
exactly.
I mean,
Twitter
this
was
is
like,
a team that, if you're going to bring over, a Jackson Lacombe type contract and you're going to sign Mason McTavish long term, I mean, this tries to open up the cup window, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, also, if you're McTavish, like, what do you
You're
think?
knocking on the door of the playoffs.
Like, what-
you should be knocking on the door of the playoffs. You look at the Pacific Division. Would you say it's the weakest in hockey?
It's between them. No, yes.
Yes.
I would say.
I mean,
the
'cause
the Sharks are in that division.
You got a clear
so, yeah.
top three of Vegas, LA, and Edmonton.
Right.
But then you've got a team like
That's just a bunch of malarkey.
it's a bunch of mid.
Yeah, it's a bunch of mid
anything
and then
could happen,
ass at the
too.
bottom
Yeah.
of the Sharks, right?
Yeah, no, you got teams like Seattle. We don't know what the hell Seattle's going to do.
Mid.
Calgary, who's mediocre.
I think they're going to take a step back mid.
I mean, it depends on Dustin Wolf. I think
There's
Dustin-
always so much he can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You look at a guy. You look at a team like San Jose. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, worse than us.
Who else?
Hopefully.
Vancouver. Mediocre.
Mid. Yeah. I
And especially once they lose Quinn Hughes, they're done for.
there are a lot of people that think they're a bounce back candidate. I don't agree. I don't think Vancouver's.
I-
I don't think they're sniffing the playoffs. And I think that's going to lead to them losing Quinn Hughes, which I think we will all be there for that. That will be absolute cinema as a Blackhawks fan. I'm
just hope he goes to the open market
I'm
and it's a
praying on the
sign and trade.
downfall of the Vancouver Canucks. But the question I was going to bring up though is like, what if you're Mason McTavish? What do you think about this? Like after all the drama you went through, just like now getting signed through this process, missing the start training camp, practicing with the junior team, and then boom, like a couple days later, boom, here's
Yeah.
Jackson Lacombe, $9 million. Like, does that not slightly bother you a little bit?
I mean,
It does, for sure.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got to be thinking like
they rolled out the red
they-
carpet for this guy. Did you see the video that they put
Yeah.
out? Like, it does. I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of telling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I 100% agree. I think you're a little bit pissed off, but at the same time, you can't really, it's not a sign and trade.
Yeah, and just after these deals,
It's not going to be like Mitch Marner, where it was a sign and trade.
Yeah.
He was traded immediately after. I don't think that they can afford to trade him now.
yeah, different situations, of course.
Yeah,
but
absolutely different situation.
also, just like Anaheim, like if it wasn't, if playoffs weren't already the expectation, like it absolutely is the expectation now. But it's like
it has to be.
do any of you guys think this Ducks team
I
sniffs
think-
the playoffs?
I
this
think
year?
this Ducks team will, at worst, be 5 points from a wild card.
So you
at
expect
worst.
this to be like a Utah season?
Interesting.
I do expect it to be.
They'll
like
be in the
Utah
mix.
season.
They'll be
Yeah.
in the mix. They'll be knocking on the door.
I think it all depends
Yeah.
upon what happens with Lucas Dostal. He also
Yeah.
signed a big ticket this offseason
Yeah.
that really no one talks about. I could find out the exact.
He's solid, man. I mean,
details.
he's so good. They felt like they could get rid of John Gibson. He's their guy.
Yeah, no, but I mean, with a guy that not a lot of people understand how good he is because he plays in Anaheim.
Yeah.
Even the Ducks last year, it's like I know everybody was shitting on that team, but it's like they had an all right record. I mean, they weren't fun to watch, and like they had absolutely no offense whatsoever. It's just why their coach got fired. But they clearly have something there. They're knocking on the door. I don't think they're there yet, but they're knocking on the door. Definitely a bright future there. Maybe not quite. I hate to say it, maybe not quite as bright as San Jose, but like I think they got a bright future there. So
So Lucas Dostal is signed for the next 5 years at $6.5 million.
6.5. Oh. So close to greatness. So close.
Do you want to put up the 20K a season?
If I had the money, I would. If I had the money, I would.
200K?
Oh, 200K. Yeah, no,
200K.
Math is never
think
my
I just
strong
have
suit.
200K lying around. No one. Do you have 200K lying around?
Dude, I don't even have 200 lying around.
I don't even have 20. I'm just kidding. Speaking of more defensive extensions, Nico Mikkola extension in Florida. 8-year extension for Nico Mikkola for $5 million. Yet another long-term extension completed in Florida. He is the 11th Panther who's been locked up until at least 2030.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to leave Florida. What are your thoughts on this?
Why would you?
Why would
You can
you?
make every cent that you sign for in there. I mean,
that number one, number two, you got the beach, you got beautiful weather all year round, and
Yeah.
number three, I mean, you look at the last 3 seasons, they've
you're
been
gonna
in the
go
Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, you're gonna go win a Stanley Cup with, not guaranteed, but you have the most confidence that you can win
Oh,
there.
no,
of course,
absolutely.
staying with the same group gives you all the confidence and not having to reshuffle anything. So it's great for Bill Zito and it's great for Mikkola to be where he's comfortable.
Yeah, no, I mean, doesn't this just completely remind you guys of the Gustav Forsling signing?
There's shades of it.
Very
Yeah.
big shades of it.
There's
You know,
shades of it.
a guy who was pretty much thrown out the way from another team in the Central Division, just like Gustav Forsling. Shout out to Stan Bowman, you fucking suck.
We would love Gustav Forsling
Yeah,
on our
wouldn't
team,
we?
wouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's just many what ifs. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Go down the list,
Nico
yeah.
Mikkola was traded from the Blues to the Rangers, and then the Rangers to the Panthers. So, I mean, it's the exact same thing as Gustav Forsling, where he went from the Hawks to the Hurricanes on waivers to the Panthers, Central to Metropolitan to the Panthers.
Mikkola's a solid defensive, don't get me wrong, but $40 million? Although I guess compared to these other deals, this looks like a piece of cake.
No, it looks very good. I think if
It's good for $5 million a year for a guy who is a good, reliable defenseman on a championship team, and it is through his age 38 season. So the last couple of years might look like
That's the thing, though.
It might look like the last couple of
It's
years.
not necessarily the $5 million, but does Nico Mikkola need an 8-year deal?
I mean, that's how they got it down to this annual average value, I assume, because other teams would have been willing to pay him, 5.5, 6.5 potentially. But
6.7.
Staying in Florida, he doesn't need that extra money because of the state tax not it being a thing here. So
where do we rank Mikkola on this, on this Panthers decor?
I mean, he is.
I don't
in
think
my
there's
opinion,
any issue with the length of the deal yet. It'll be seen if he can play through his age 37 or 38 season. But for now, I think the value is really good for the Panthers.
Like, we look at this top. Sorry, Nolan, but we look at this top four:
go right ahead.
Gustav Forsling, Ekblad, Mikkola, Jones. Where would we rank Mikkola there? Is he your number 4? Would you say
he is my number 4. As much as I hate Seth Jones,
you put Seth Jones or Mikkola?
I would put Seth Jones over Mikkola.
Even after that play last night where he got absolutely cooked by Connor Geekie on the spinorama, that's the Seth Jones I know. Remember, we got to talk about that. What on earth was that from Seth Jones?
Connor Geekie was drafted in the first round for a reason.
That was Blackhawk Seth Jones right there. Thank you, Florida, for letting us. We don't have to deal with him anymore.
Another
Thank you.
thing about that Florida Tampa game that I don't think got talked about enough last night: 186 penalty minutes
In a preseason game.
And
game.
they play on Saturday again. Yeah, that's gonna. Will we see
boy.
200 penalty minutes
It's
that
like
game?
a playoff game in the preseason. Yeah, I love it.
8 10-minute misconducts and 4 fights.
That's insane.
And
That's insane.
it was pretty much just Florida attacking Tampa from what it seemed like. I know that AJ Greer, one of the first,
He got fined, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got fined for the slash against Brandon Hagel,
Blackhawks
and
legend.
that just came out of nowhere. I mean, I didn't really. I got to be honest. I did not watch the Tampa Florida preseason game,
I
guys.
saw clips on Twitter. I didn't watch it.
I did not tune in. Thursday Night Football was on.
By the way, guys, it's Seth Jones' birthday today. Did we know this?
We're talking all this smack on his birthday. Wow.
31 years old.
and-
Happy birthday, Seth Jones. Yeah.
No, just birthday.
Birthday, Seth. It is your birthday.
It
office
is your
scene.
birthday.
It is your
Shout out
birthday.
The Office.
Yep. Just a period. We're not gonna.
So Justin, wear your
expand
brown
on that.
balloons, and Charlie, wear your gray balloons, and the streamers.
It's not a celebratory occasion. That was a mouthful.
A grayscale birthday celebration. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys saw that episode of The Office. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
do.
I love My Office. One of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
What is that your favorite show? The Office?
I think it is also my favorite show.
it's my favorite comedy. I don't know if that's my favorite show.
Yeah. I mean,
it's up there though.
You can put up a lot of shows, honestly. I mean, we can get into this, if you want to, but I mean,
That's a CHR plus topic there. But
Yeah.
this is an interesting thing. When we speak about the birthday boy, Seth Jones, for a bit, it's funny. Panthers fans act like this guy was a big reason why they won. Look, he was good, don't get me wrong, but I look at the production here in the playoffs for Seth Jones, and he wasn't even in the top 10. He was ranked number 12 in postseason production.
He had one good game in Game 7 over
against
the
the
Leafs.
Leafs. So it's
But
the
again,
Leafs.
it's a Game 7 Leafs. I mean,
so,
you're
does that even really
basically-
count? Like,
You're basically playing an
that's right.
ECHL team at this point.
yeah, he did outproduce Mikkola. So I mean, again, that's just offensive numbers.
Yeah, but that's
yeah.
not Mikkola's game. Mikkola is more of a shutdown guy.
Curious to see how he looks in like a full season with Florida, right?
Yeah.
Let's see how much Panthers fans are loving him after another full season.
I
We'll see
think-
if they have the same opinion.
When is the return fixture in the Panthers Blackhawks? Because we obviously play them opening night, but I want to see when the Seth Jones train comes back home to Chicago.
Ooh, I'm sure we'll be welcomed back with open arms. What's that tribute video gonna look like? Ooh,
It's just going to be a bunch of.
it's just gonna be a bunch of lowlights. Here's
gonna
another
be,
Seth turnover.
It's going to be played to the Benny Hill theme song.
Oh, that's classic. I think we're all extremely looking
So
forward to
Justin,
that.
you think
Yeah.
he gets a tribute video at the UC?
I mean, he played it for 4 years. I mean,
mean,
they've done tributes for worse players.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he probably does.
Unfortunately,
he
he
at least
does.
gets a thank
Yeah.
you. He might not get a tribute video. He'll get a thank you. Like
He'll,
a thank
he'll
you
get the opposite of the Patrick Kane tribute video where Kane's doing 5 victory laps around the ice. I think if
It'll just be an image thrown up on the screen.
Yeah.
There won't be a video.
thank you, Seth, and then everybody's just gonna
over
boo.
under 4.5 beer cans thrown on the ice.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, well, I'll take the over on that one.
This said game will be January 25th, 2026. It's a Sunday night game between the
February
Black.
5th? Is that the last game before the break?
No. There is 5 more games after that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we have to go to that one.
Not the All-Star break, the Olympic break.
Right, of course. Yeah, very different season this year. Yeah, might have to open up the wallet for that one, boys. What do we think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Just
I would love to see the Panthers at the United Center. Yeah, I'll open up the wallet for that.
beat
I
them
have no
last year,
problems.
Hey, you know how you can help support us with the wallet? Buying the merch.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
the
If you want
CHR
to
merch
represent
drop.
us,
Yes.
we got CHR sweatshirts, hats, and T-shirts available on the alithionetwork.com website
Yes.
under the shop tab.
Yes, you can support us there. Absolutely. I'm so excited for when we play Florida, which is, 5 days from now?
4 days.
4 days
4
from now.
days, yeah.
That math
Nicholas
was never my
Hjalmarsson
strong
away.
suit. 4 days away. We'll have plenty more time to break down. I think on the Monday show we'll do
Speaking
like
of
a game
Hjalmarsson,
preview.
remember when
Yeah.
Seth Jones tried to take Hjalmarsson's number and the organization's like, no.
Utter woke nonsense.
Utter woke
woke
nonsense.
nonsense is what that is. He's
No,
number 3
he
now.
tried to take 3 because, but obviously 3 was retired by Pierre Pilote and
Of course, yeah.
by
Magnuson.
Keith Magnuson.
Both
yes.
much better defensemen. I think
Yes,
we can all
yes.
agree.
And then,
Yeah.
he takes 4 from Hjalmarsson, and that just already sets a tone where it's like, okay, you're setting the tone. Exactly.
Shoresy
Hjalmarsson,
reference.
3-time cup winner, it's still a little bit, I don't think he'll get his number retired. I think he might, be in the Blackhawks Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah, I think. Nicholas Hjalmarsson, Blackhawks Hall of Fame. Are you kidding me? I mean, not to get in the Blackhawks already, but yeah, he is a Blackhawks Hall of Famer, 1,000%.
Yes.
Easily. Are we kidding me?
I think easily. And then,
Yeah.
you look at Seth Jones just trying to take his number. It's just like,
No,
that's not a good look, Seth. You already
hydrogen
started
bomb
off
versus
bad.
coughing baby. Yeah.
It was bad on Stan for giving away 2 first-round picks and Adam Boquist. It was bad on Stan for giving him 7 years, $9.5 million. It was bad on Seth on ice, off ice, toxic environment in the locker room.
Yeah, you hate when it's a toxic environment in the room.
I
It
mean,
can be,
it's just
hard to
like,
deal with.
don't
Yeah.
let the door hit you on the way out, buddy.
We're giving all the birthday kudos to Seth today, aren't
Yes,
we?
no, I
Jeez.
think that's enough Seth talk. But we had to discuss some Seth. And Blackhawks fans love even when he's not here anymore. We still love talking about Seth Jones. I still see it all the time. So
I wanted to
we're giving the people what they want.
give a
this
quick tidbit in here. You mentioned Hawks great Keith Magnuson. His son, Kevin Magnuson, is the player agent of Frank Nazar.
Oh,
Shout out to Kevin Magnuson.
Charlie
for
fans.
And that was a
Love it.
beautiful
that
deal. So he did
Yeah.
a tremendous job there. We gotta give him his kudos.
Yeah,
Stick
stick
taps,
taps.
stick
Stick
taps
taps.
in the chat. We won't talk about player extensions all the time. We got some coach extensions here.
Yeah, there we
Oilers
go.
extended Knobloch to a multi-year deal, and another Alberta team, the Flames, extended Huska to multi-year deals. So I'm not sure exactly how much multi-years looks like there. With coaches, sometimes you don't get the full details there,
Yeah.
but I think for the Oilers makes sense. I mean, Knobloch's taken him to the Cup final every year he's been there, so has no really
2 for 2.
no real surprise there. Husk, good coach, good culture guy, but it feels a little early to commit long term there. I'm a little surprised they did. I would have waited another year.
I kind of want to see how the Flames do this
I feel
year.
like they overperformed a little bit last year. I
Right.
want to see if they could do it again. If they take another step, if they sniff the playoffs, I get it. But
again, that could be just based on the coach.
yeah, right. No, that one for
fitting,
me.
they obviously loved fitting the culture in there. They were this close to being into the playoffs. I thought that the roster on paper was probably a bottom 5 roster on paper going into the season, and now they were on the cusp of making the playoffs. Like you got to reward a guy.
That's
like
fair.
that.
Yeah. I would have waited here, but it's fair. But the big one really is, and then this one from Pierre LeBrun, that was kind of done secretly. He mentioned John Cooper in Tampa extended. There was obviously a lot of talk around him and his future with Tampa. There's some question marks about whether he's going to stick around past this season. I know there were some rumors that connect him to Utah. That was all maybe a smokescreen, but he is extending there in Tampa. So the longest tenured coach in the NHL. He's won back-to-back cups, 2020, 2021, the COVID years. Like nothing really shocking there. One of the best coaches in the league, Jack Adams guy, Canada. No real shock.
No,
there.
he's
not a surprise he's sticking around.
No, not at all.
Yeah, no,
Not at all.
no, not at all. So, but yeah, no, it's good for them to get that done. I know there's some question marks there. We had Tampa around.
There was rumors of him going to Utah. Just imagine what Utah would have done with John Cooper.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, Utah fans. That would have been great for them.
Yeah. Kind of comparing it to like Craig Counsell to the Cubs. But we'll get into the Cubs during the next
Can't
hour.
wait.
I have
Can't
my
wait.
thoughts about Craig Counsell.
We'll get to that. That's a Blackhawks hour discussion. I think, the
That's what I
Cubs.
said. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, I
just
agree.
prepare yourself.
Yeah, and a couple more tidbits here. There were some rumors that connected Carter Hart and Michael McLeod to Carolina, but they will not be signing either of those players. I think a lot of that was due to some backlash from season ticket holders and fans. So,
for sure.
Want to avoid controversy there. So, although Carter Hart does sound like a pretty good chance that he goes to Vegas. So I don't know about McLeod, but Hart probably will land somewhere. Guys are always looking for goalies, so not really shocking there. And especially for Vegas, too, their goalie situation. You got Aiden Hill, but they could definitely use some more insurance there.
Do we really trust in Akira Schmid?
Nah, I don't think so. I think if he was at the Canucks last year. I think his numbers were amongst the worst in the league. If I'm not mistaken.
I
I'm thinking of
he was with the
Shelovs.
Devils.
I'm thinking of Shelovs.
Yeah,
I'm
he was
sorry.
with the Devils.
Yeah, I mistook Shelovs and Schmid. But yeah, and
So-
then sorry.
Can we have like an actual sort of discussion here on the Hart McLeod thing in Carolina? So the reason they didn't sign them is because there was a fan petition going around that I think well over 1,500 people had signed saying that they would ask for refunds on their season tickets if they ended up going through signing both of those players. So I guess my question here to you guys is like, and this goes for like, I don't know. There's different teams. There's different markets that you can sort of like in Carolina. You can't really afford to lose 1,600 season ticket members.
For the love of God, please come to our games.
Well, no, but you understand that it's a lot like different.
No, I 100% agree. Yeah.
Than if like
There's
the
not
Toronto
15
Maple Leafs or the Montreal Canadiens like lost 1,600 season ticket members.
They're getting
Those
filled
seats
up
would-
right away.
Those seats would be filled in an hour.
They have 10,000 on the waiting list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
More.
are people that will be on the waiting list for the next like 50 years. So, yeah, I guess it's just like that. That's like, there's not really a question there, but maybe the question is like, how did you not expect this was going to happen?
Yeah,
Like they look sort of stupid now. Like,
I thought it was kind of stupid that Carolina even went after Carter Hart in the first place.
Yeah, I agree.
You had Jordan Stahl making those. You remember those Jordan Stahl comments were going around where he was like, "Oh well, I got arrested when I was young." Like, I don't know. I think that's weird.
Baggage.
All right, yeah. So here's
Not
my take on
apples
the
to
whole.
apples there
Yeah.
either.
Did you think the Carolina Hurricanes fans weren't like people paid attention to this in the United States? Like this trial was like a really big deal in Canada. It was all over TV all the time. I know it wasn't covered like that here, even though it probably should have been more mainstream covered. But like,
Yeah,
hockey fans here aren't dumb. Like they know like what happened, right? Like you guys know what happened. Like
Yeah.
you guys, you know what I mean? Like we all know what happened. Like
Yeah,
I don't know if they thought that like they didn't know or like wouldn't care or what, but
Yeah, like the hardcore fans, like they're gonna know the ones in the know. So the people who have season ticket holders are gonna know. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
so
the most
here's
part,
my take on the whole thing. I want to start out with Carter Hart first. I don't even know why Carolina goes after Carter Hart.
You think with Freddie Anderson and Kochetkov, they don't need him?
I think those are two reliable goaltenders that you can go into a season. I mean, that's one of the that's a top 10 tandem in the league, in my personal opinion.
Top 10.
Freddie Anderson in the Big
Because
2025.
Anderson's just not reliable, man.
I mean, because here's the thing with Freddie Anderson is like, yes, he will put up stats. And then, Kochetkov, he's still a young goalie in the league, but I've liked what I've seen out of Kochetkov so far.
He will put up stats. Bad stats are
There's
still stats,
potential with that tandem, but like I would not say
But
that's.
no, I
like-
get-
But I
get
wouldn't
your
bring
point.
in, a Carter Hart, as a third guy. I would not.
I don't think it's necessary.
No,
right?
I
Yeah.
think, if you're bringing in Carter Hart after 2 years of not playing, you're realistically going to bring him in a backup role. And I think Kochetkov right now for the Carolina Hurricanes would be a better backup than Carter
I
Hart.
think another discussion like that about Carter Hart, the fact that he is heavily connected to Vegas, but it's like Mark Lazarus, he went to Vegas.
Yeah,
to,
that was an
sort of
interesting
get
one.
some answers there and had his media credentials there revoked when he asked questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he asked Noah Hannafin. He asked him about it, and then the team didn't like it. They thought he was kind of poking around, prodding, and revoked his credentials just for asking questions about the Hart sign,
Mm-hmm.
potential Hart signing.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that in terms of what it leads me to believe their plan is.
I mean,
I
yeah.
think
Kind
I
of
think
gives
it
you
leads
a
me to
hint, doesn't
believe
it?
that they're going to sign Carter Hart.
not
and
confirmed, but
they
it
don't
looks
want
like it.
people
Yeah.
in there instigating about as to why, or kind of trying to ask questions that allude that they shouldn't, or things like that. And that's kind of seems like, in my eyes, what Mark was over there doing.
Yeah.
Just based on reading Mark's work over the years, but.
Yeah, no, I
It's
100%
still not a good
see your
look for
theory,
the
yeah.
organization at all.
I mean, if
to have
there's-
that happen and come out.
There's one franchise that doesn't really care about noise. It's the Vegas Golden Knights. So we're really shocked that if there's a team that would
No,
sign
they
Carter
don't-
Hart,
they
it's the
don't
Vegas
give-
Golden Knights.
A single thought to anything. Like
Nope.
they don't give a single thought to, prospects.
No,
They
drafts
don't
or-
give
yeah.
a single thought to draft picks.
LTIR,
LTIR,
controversy.
yeah.
Like, they'll do whatever it takes, man.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they've won.
Yeah, they don't care what people have to say. They don't care about the PR sentiment.
No,
you know?
they are the kind of
They
guys
care
who-
about winning.
They put on the noise canceling headphones.
Yeah, no, that's what they do. So.
Yeah, they're just ultra aggressive and doing whatever they need. That whatever they see fit. They don't care what people think.
Yeah.
Yeah, a smaller story, not that deep, but more goaltending news. We're on the topic of goaltenders. The Tampa Bay Lightning did claim Phoenix Copley off waivers. This is more of an insurance move as they wait for Andrei Vasilevsky to return from injury, which they expect him to be ready to go for their season opener next week. So I believe he's going to get in a preseason game as well. So I think they just want him have some insurance there just in case he's not ready. So always good to have more goalies available on the docket. That definitely seems to be the trend now, where teams want to have 3 solid goalies available, not just a solid starter and a backup, but you want to have a third stringer there just in case.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
ready to go, because you just never know what's going to happen with the start. You lose a starter or backup to injury, especially for a long term, and you're kind of screwed. So it's good to have those insurance plans available. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I just don't know, going back to the Carter Hart situation, I don't know if he would be that third goaltender.
And in Tampa?
No, not in
Oh,
Tampa.
we're back to
Yeah.
Carter Hart. Okay.
No, not in Carolina. We were talking
we're
about
back to Carolina. Okay.
Back
Yeah.
to Carolina.
Yeah.
Just like I think Carter Hart is more suited for a backup role in this league. I think he does have the talent. It's just it wouldn't work out, and it would work out at a place like Vegas.
Yeah, he needs to be like the 1 or 2. Like he can't be battling 2 other guys. Is what you're
Guys,
saying.
breaking
Fair.
news.
What's up?
Breaking news. Roman Kanserov
Goal.
scores.
Oh, let's go. The Roman candle, baby. Let's get some prospect talk rolling. Hell yeah.
11 in 11 games now. 11 points.
11 points in 9 games.
Is it 9?
He went his first 2 games pointless, but now
That's
it's
right.
11 and 11. Make a
He's
wish.
cooking.
Beautiful.
Make a wish.
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing.
I
He's
think-
cooking.
Well, I mean, I guess Flash Score has now changed it, so I guess it's a Roman Kanserov assist, but
Hey,
we'll
you know
take
what?
a
That's
point.
a Roman
Yeah.
Kanserov
points are points. Points are points. All
We'll
right.
take it.
So I guess we're gonna get into prospect talk in the second hour.
Yeah, we'll get
Yeah,
we'll get
we got
there in the
plenty to
Blackhawks
talk about
hour.
with the
for
Blackhawks
sure, for sure.
prospects.
We got a lot of Blackhawks talk to discuss for sure. Speaking of discussing Blackhawks talk, I think that's a good time to wrap the NHL hour, and let's get to that Blackhawks talk in the
Absolutely,
second
let's
half of the
do
show.
it.
We're doing Blackhawks hour in the second half of the show once again. Why not?
And we're ready.
switching it up.
We're ready.
We are so ready to go.
Very.
We will be back on the other side of the break. See you then.
ya.
CHR enjoyers.
Welcome back. Second hour, Chicago Hockey Radio, Frondell Friday. I think that's where we got to start, right, boys?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's right.
Frondell Fridays. Thank you for taking care of that for me, Nolan. I
No,
appreciate that.
absolutely.
I
Anytime.
I just wanted you to do the intro today. I just had a feeling that you would nail it, and that's
So
exactly what
I'm
you
going to
did.
step it up. Yeah, I mean that's where you got to do. I mean you got the first line winger right there. You got the third line center right here.
Absolutely.
Sometimes the third line center's got to pot a couple goals in.
Absolutely. I figured for Blackhawks hour, we'd start with prospect talk, and there is nobody who's better to talk about Blackhawks prospects than Andrew Nolan.
Oh,
Let's
hey,
lead us
hey
off
guys,
there.
What's going on? All right. So, as I previously mentioned in the first hour, Flash Score has done me dirty. Flash Score is the app that I use to get notifications from the KHL. I thought Roman Kantarov had scored. Obviously, we don't have a live stream here because we care about our stream.
That's right. We're focused on this stream.
So Roman Kantarov has not scored. Maybe we get an update on that. Maybe hopefully like an assist or something like that. That'd be awesome.
That would be
But,
nice. Yeah,
I mean,
good point. Yeah.
we have to lead off with Anton Frondell, right?
Anton Frondell on Frondell Friday scored a Michigan in the Djurgårdens Gardens game on Thursday.
Against
Absolute
Rogel, yeah.
cinema. By the way, a beautiful Michigan as well. He cleaned up his own rebound, got the puck on the stick right away. One of the
I
cleaner
feel like you
Michigans
never
I've
see
seen.
those. You usually just see the guys coming around the net. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was like Frondell didn't have like any intuition to start with the Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He
It
just
wasn't a plan. It was kind of
it was
an
not-
improv Michigan.
No, it was an improv Michigan. And
Yeah.
I mean, the goaltender was completely fooled about this.
Yeah, I did not see it
I
coming.
mean, that
Did
was
not-
like 60% of the net
that
wide
was one of the
open for
smoother
him.
Michigans I've seen. He had time to spare.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know, but I would say for now, I knew he had mitts. I didn't realize he had mitts that smooth.
Yeah,
real
that was,
smooth.
That was just impressive for
Real
him to
smooth.
like
Real
no
smooth.
time
Yeah.
to prepare, and it was like one of the smoothest ones you've seen
Yeah.
too. Like
I mean, it's just
it's granted the goalie was like lost as all hell on that play, but like
Hey, we don't need to talk about that.
he
He was
still-
lost because Frondell's aura just got him out of the
Yeah,
position.
no, like
Yeah.
Anton was still able to, take his missed shot and quickly get around the net and make that move. And I don't think anyone was expecting him to do that in
Absolutely
that moment
not,
at
no.
all.
Fellas, how ready are we for the Connor Bedard, Anton Frondell duo Michigan threat on the Blackhawks?
I mean, we were-
that will feed the families of Chicago, will that not?
we were thinking about this in Philly last episode with Mitchkov and Zegras.
Yeah,
I mean,
now we got that.
We have our own, and we
Yes.
have a Michigan guy in Frank Nazar.
We're going
from actual
band for
Michigan.
band. Where's Nazar's Michigan? The Michigan man needs to do the Michigan. I haven't we seen it yet.
He's pulled off some silky moves though.
I bet you we'll see a Michigan from Nazar in the future. A Michigan from
hope.
Nazar, and then there's the 6-7
Oh
celly
my!
afterwards.
Oh, that's
Oh my
absolute
goodness.
cinema.
What a clip that would be. I'm speaking that into existence. Manifest destiny.
So that was not only the only goal that Anton Frondell scored.
It
He
was
also
not
scored
the only
a
one.
second goal off the draw. I mean, that was an absolute laser
That was
beam.
a snipe.
That was an absolute laser beam
Oh.
that caught the goalie off guard again. I just think that we're talking about Anton Frondell's one timer being his specialty, like just his shot in general. Like you look down the prospect list that we have right now. Guys like Bedard, guys like Lardis, guys like Kantarov's got an underrated shot.
He does. Frondell's
yeah.
shot, I think, is
Boisvert's got an underrated shot.
Lardis got a bang. I mean, not underrated shot,
Yeah.
but just a damn good
I mean,
shot.
yeah, we already
Right.
knew about Nick Lardis. 70 goals. You're
These
not
are
going to
more
shy
got
away from that.
deceptive shots. I wouldn't say that's what they're known for, but they got deceptive shots.
Yeah. So I think Anton Frondell. I mean, you showed it. It was like basically like right off the draw too.
Yeah, and just a snap, quick snap right away, quick release, no scope. It was a beauty.
No, that was absolutely
Banger
beautiful.
of a shot. The goalie once again had no idea what was coming. I was not prepared for that Frondell release.
Yeah,
Not at all.
No, absolutely
Just
not.
imagine Frondell and Bedard like duo flank threat in the power play. I mean, the teams aren't gonna know what's coming.
No.
The ops aren't prepared.
No, you've
The
got,
league ain't ready.
you've got three options. You've got Bedard. You've got four options. Realistically, you've got Bedard on the left flank. You've got Nazar playing the bumper.
Right?
You got Frondell on the right flank, and then you've got Rinzel quarterbacking it.
Who's the fifth guy or the sixth guy?
Sasha Boisvert.
Sorry, the fifth guy. Yeah,
Sasha
Yeah.
Boisvert, net front.
Ooh,
Either that or I
okay.
like him in the bumper on the second power play. I brought this up last year, actually, when we were talking about this. I really like Boisvert, what he did last year for North Dakota, and his season starts this weekend.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's going to be centering the top line for BU.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yeah, with Cole Eiserman. Talk about another guy with a hell of a shot, Cole Eiserman.
Yes, time for
That's
prospect talk. Yeah, here we go.
That's a Hobie Baker potential line. If I've
Yeah,
ever said. Both guys, could have great seasons.
Could-
and be
could
in-
put up
be
50
finalists.
points.
Yeah, they could both be finalists for BU this year.
I've been saying this, that one of my biggest takes with Sasha Boisvert is he's going to finish top 10 on the Hobie Baker.
Top 10. That's high praise, man. That's high praise.
He's a very good player, man.
I don't think that's too far of a stretch at all.
No, I think last year North Dakota in the first half of the year underutilized him, and then once you saw him in the top 6, saw him perform. I mean, down the stretch, he was scoring goal after goal after goal after goal, and I mean, he did everything in his power in that NCHC tournament game against Western Michigan, where he scored 2 goals. I mean, both of them very good goals, like goal scorers goals, and unfortunately, North Dakota didn't get to make the tournament.
Yeah, the team just wasn't that deep.
But now
around
you look at a team like Boston University,
that
they're
does
going to
have
make
that
the
depth,
tournament,
right? For sure,
they're going to make the
just
tournament.
To circle back on Frondell for a second here. I'm noticing. I'm the noticer. You know what I'm noticing?
What is
you're a
that,
noticer?
Justin?
He's had 3 goals in his last 3 Swedish Hockey League games. And meanwhile, I circle back on San Jose there. I look at what Michael Misa has done the preseason. 0 goals in the last 3 preseason
No
games
goals.
for Michael Misa. I'm just noticing. That's all I'm saying.
No, I absolutely agree.
I mean, did you all notice that? 'Cause I did.
I have noticed that, yeah.
I just think that's a very fascinating stat. We got the fun police in here in the chat, but I gotta say, I just had to point that out there. I thought that was absolute cinema. What do y'all think?
No, I 100%
I think
agree.
I know who the fun police is too. That's very funny, Justin.
Yeah, no fun allowed.
I was gonna say, yeah, in terms of Frondell, this was the first game that he was lifted off of that third line onto the second line, and he was playing winger instead of center this game. So that just gave him, I think, kind of more opportunity, not worrying as much about being the center, and it worked out on the offensive side for him.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like through the first 7 games, I know they've been playing him in a 3C, third line center, kind of bottom 6 defensive shutdown type role. Only had a goal and 2 assists in 7 games. And what do you know? The first game they throw him up in the top 6 and don't shelter him. I mean, he has a 2-goal game. Right?
You can look
One of the
down
more dominant players on the ice.
You can look down that lineup too. You look at a guy like Victor Eklund, who is also in the bottom 6, and a guy like Viggo Bjork, who is in the bottom 6 as well. He was playing 4th line minutes, but he looked really good, even though the score was 11-2 last week. Viggo Bjork looked good.
They got a dangerous team there between Bjork, between Eklund, between Frondell, and Blackhawks legend Marcus Kruger. I believe he had 2 assists in that game. They got
there's
Gardens might be a
there's going to be a
championship
lot
contender there.
of NHL prospecting eyes on that team over the next 2 or 3 years for sure.
And I want to circle back to Kanserov too, is if we're talking about production.
Sure.
So a stat that I had found, obviously it's not going to be, he's not going to add a point from, today's game. So far, there's still 10 minutes left in the
time.
game.
Yeah,
there's definitely time for him. He is second in U23 point production in the KHL.
Hell, who's first?
Yegor Surin, who was a Nashville first-round pick last year, he's got 13 points in 11 games.
Well, I think Kanserov really.
But Kanserov's got an 8-game point streak going so far with 5 goals and 5 assists.
He's on the hunt.
Yeah, that's nothing
cooking.
to scoff
He's
at,
streaking.
even though he's not the first U23 guy.
And another guy that just got added to their team that could be a major help for them, Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Right, because Kuznetsov, Kuzi, trying to make his. He did just sign there.
Yeah, he just signed a Metalurg.
Yeah. I know there were reports that he was trying to make an AHL return, but clearly I don't know if the interest just wasn't quite there. What happened?
Maybe
there,
we'll
but,
see
yeah.
Roman adopt the
bird celly?
The bird celly.
I don't know about that one. Like I was saying, in terms of Crin Cellies, I think that one's actually
It's
kind of
up there,
cringe.
yeah.
What is this? What is that?
Roman's
Like,
got good enough
so
celly
good.
game as it is. He doesn't need to.
He's got
bring
a great Celly game. He's always got something in the arsenal there for sure.
Another guy I want to pinpoint in Russia. So 7th round pick last year for the Blackhawks, Ilya Konarski, the guy who had no photo.
By the way, if that happened, you were drafted in the NHL and you just see your post and there's no picture there, like how is there no available picture? Like, wouldn't that just rub? Like, obviously, you love to get drafted, psyched and all, but like that's a bit disrespectful.
No, it is. Yeah, but Konarski this season has put up in 7 games a 1.67 goals against average and a 951 in the VHL, which is basically Russia's equivalent of the AHL.
What's the goals against average again?
1.67.
That's he's the guy. He's the future in that there. I love that man.
And here's the thing: I would love to see him in the KHL this season, but the team that he's playing for does not have a KHL affiliate for him to be called up. They're an independent team, kind of like the Chicago Wolves.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would have to happen? Would he have to get moved to another team
He would
to
have
get
to
a
get
call up?
loaned or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like European soccer kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I've seen this in the Russian league where you'll get loaned to a team for like 2 to 3 games and then they'll call you back.
Right.
So I think it'd be interesting. Put him in the KHL. See what he can do because obviously you look at these stats. Obviously, you don't want to get too involved into a 7 game stretch. But he looks good.
By the way, speaking of prospect talk, the Rockford Ice Hawks season is soon underway as well. I know their preseason began. We got to speak about.
we
this.
gotta talk about this.
Talk about blooper of the day. They had their first preseason game against the Chicago Wolves yesterday.
An
Big
11:30
rivals.
start.
That's right. And there was a power outage in Rockford.
Like all of Rockford, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Yes, and it caused the rest of the game to get canceled.
To
What?
be abandoned, yeah.
What the heck?
I mean, did Rockford just
Average
forget to pay their
Rockford
light bill?
activities.
Yeah, I didn't hear too much on the aftermath of what caused the outage, but it's just a ridiculous situation. It's your home opener for the AHL season, and the lights go out, and you have to postpone the game, and there's bunch of school groups in the building.
Yeah.
Like I heard they kept it pretty like upbeat in there when the lights are off. They were all like chanting songs and stuff.
Oh,
So-
good. Were they like putting on the flashlights to try and get them to play or something like that?
Yeah,
I
they
saw
were doing
a
the
photo
flashlights.
like that.
But, it's good to hear that all wasn't lost in that situation. There were some good times had.
Yeah.
It's preseason for everybody, right? Even the power technicians, apparently.
Yeah.
So as long as it doesn't happen in the regular season, right?
As long as that doesn't happen at the UC.
Oh,
That has happened at the UC before. I remember there was a game a few years ago where the lights went out like momentarily.
What was the game last year where a bat got in the arena? Remember that? I think that was last year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the
the
game
bat.
that I was at that game against Edmonton. Yeah.
You were at that game? Did you see the bat?
I did not see the bat. We showed up a little bit late because that was the game because that was affected by freezing rain.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you got to watch out for that Chicago weather, man.
Funny little bit of Nolan lore. As I was getting dropped off by one of my buddies at home, my street turned into an ice rink, and I fell flat on my ass while getting out of the truck.
Got to bring the skates next time, bud.
I'm sorry to
they
hear
were
that, brother.
sharpened.
Got to
Yeah,
bring some cold steel and ice.
so
You're
it
as
was,
cold as ice, willing to sacrifice our love. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there for you.
So I mean, it's just like I should have had my skates sharpened. It was just it just added on to the Hawks losing in overtime that game, and then I fall just straight on my ass.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Nolan.
You and the Hawks.
I think just one little point to round out prospect talk here that might have hopefully will apply to the Blackhawks. Fellas, this is the weekend. Gavin McKenna, NCAA debut.
Tonight is
for
the night.
Penn State.
Tonight is the night.
Tonight's the night. And it's going to happen again and again. Has to happen.
My big thing about the Gavin McKenna news that I thought was awesome. It's going to be live on NHL's YouTube. And
Right.
it's going to be live on NHL Network. I have been
It's worldwide available.
Yeah,
for
worldwide
anyone
available
to watch.
Yeah, I do. I have a gripe against NHL Network. Do you guys want me to get into my gripe with NHL Network?
Go ahead.
Please.
So going to college in Ohio, I wasn't able to be in the market for Blackhawks games most times, and this was during Bedard's rookie year. So I mean, obviously, you're going to have national eyes on Connor Bedard. And I was just unable to watch games on NHL Network because they're blacked out on ESPN Plus.
Utter woke nonsense.
Utter woke nonsense.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. But
Yeah.
what are our expectations with Gavin McKenna? He's got to get on the board tonight, right?
One of these two games.
You think so?
One of these
Yeah.
two games, he's got a pot of lamplighter.
Yeah, maybe both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a successful weekend looks like put up at least a point per game.
That'll be. I think that's what everybody's hoping. That's got to be one of the most highly anticipated, maybe the most highly anticipated college hockey debut ever.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, you can compare it to guys like Celebrini who went number 1 overall, but
Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying say people.
And then we can talk about the Blackhawks prospects who are actually in the system right now compared to the one that's going to be in the system in 9 months. Gavin McKenna. More guys starting their NCAA seasons this year. This weekend, John Mustard. Julius Stumpf in Providence, Adam Guyan in Minnesota Duluth, Vaclav Nestrasil at UMass, and then as we've previously mentioned, Sasha Boisvert at BU. So we just want to give stick taps and good luck to our boys in the NCAA this year.
And Mason
right.
West is playing high school football.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, he'll be at
Tonight,
MSU next year.
He's got a big game tonight, I'm sure. Friday
How
night
much?
lights.
What's the over under on touchdown passes for Mason West in the next
I
game?
mean, he's been on fire. I would probably say like three and a
I was
half.
going to say he's putting up 3 to 4
He's
touchdown
dropping
passes
numbers.
each game.
He's dropping numbers there.
Yeah. So I mean, just imagine when that's 3 or 4 goals for the Blackhawks in a couple of years.
Yes.
And thankfully, I don't think we have to make any watch out Caleb jokes anymore.
Yeah.
No, because he's been locked in.
Yeah, he's been great.
The
He's been
pressure
looking like
was
the guy.
on for Mason West, and he responded to said pressure.
That's
so
right.
You love to see it. Clearly, that's the Mason West effect right there for Caleb Williams. So
Yeah.
good stuff. No Bears game to preview this weekend. Bye week for the Bears. But
It's
It's a nice, peaceful feeling, right?
Yeah, so it's a bye week for the Bears, and it's a bye week for our hated rivals, the Green Bay Packers. How do we fill that void?
You know,
just get into your Cubs, Glazer. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's just
All
get
right,
over
it
with.
worked out so
Let's do it.
perfectly, didn't it? That the Packers
it
have a
did.
bye and the Bears have a bye.
Yes.
So the Cubs were bound to advance to let everyone
Yes.
watch these games without worrying about our
The
football
Battle
teams.
of I-94 starts this Saturday. I'm wearing my my Wrigleyville T-shirt. Bury me when I die. Bury me in Wrigleyville. It's one of my favorite T-shirts in my collection. I would have loved to be there last night. I mean, that was just an absolute electric factory at Wrigley. Everything about that, Jamison Tyone pitching 4 shutout innings. He looked great. Danny Palencia, again, coming through in the clutch. He looked great. Got the defensive spine of PCA, Dansby Swanson, and Nico Horner.
yeah, Dansby was the MVP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Even though he didn't show it at the plate, he showed it in the field, and that just made up for it. It was funny. Mike Schilt, the Padres manager, it's kind of a lost art in our game there in baseball, where it's you don't talk about defense as much, but Dansby Swanson has a hell of a glove.
Yeah, he's earned every dollar of that contract just based on
Yes.
he makes every game. There's 2 to 3 plays that are like game defining that he makes on defense that saves our pitching's ass.
3 ground outs to from Luis Ariz yesterday, which I just thought was hilarious. That
Including the one he didn't run out, and he
Yeah.
could have totally been safe.
Could have
but
totally been safe.
Dansby just stuck with it, and Luis is looking like a lazy player out there, like Machado on that pop up a bit. So yeah, that's kind of the issue with the Padres is they didn't seem to want it as much as the Cubs wanted it yesterday.
No, absolutely not. And I thought it was, great. In the 7th inning rolls around, Michael Busch puts one over the basket.
But Jed Hoyer got fleeced on that trade. Zaire Hope, and Jackson. That's a Cubs Twitter thing.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I don't think we got
No,
fleeced.
we did not.
No.
Zaire Hope, he's fine. He's like a 800 OPS guy in single A still. And Jackson Ferris, pitchers are going to take longer to develop. He looks like he'll be.
We
decent
have enough
starter.
lefties right now.
Yeah, we don't care about that.
No,
we are moved by Michael Busch, not Zaire Hope.
Yes, I just wish that Yancy Almonte was, more part of this deal. So it, makes a little bit of everything. But
Speaking of the Cubs, just relating this to the Blackhawks here, I know it wasn't last night, and of course it was the one game they lose. But how about Connor Bedard, Frank Nazar, Nick Foligno? I believe Chris Chelios was there as well. How about those guys that go into the Thursday?
and Colton Dock was there too, but he
did
got
not
no
get a
airtime.
cameo. Yeah, no one cared about Colton being
Oh,
there.
poor guy. Yeah, the Wednesday Cubs game. I was even as a Sox fan, like that fired me the hell up. Just seeing like Betsy and Nazar and just the passion, the enthusiasm. There's even a fan who like put a Padres hat like in the camera. And Betsy's like, "Get that the hell out of here!" And shoved it away.
Kind of shoved him out. That was awesome.
I love that. I just love to see Betsy and Frank vibing, man. I'm telling you, it's like young Kane and Taze vibes.
Did you mention Foligno was there with them?
Yeah, he's taking his family to the ball game.
Exactly. That's
This is
what it looked like.
awesome.
A little bit of Nolan lore here. So my parents were actually at the game. They were the section over, and my dad told me after the game, he's like, "Yeah, I was trying to find Connor. I was trying to find Frank, and take a picture with him."
Oh, and he wasn't successful.
No luck.
Unsuccessful.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I would have done a lot better if I was in those seats. Not gonna lie.
Which, by the way, this is something we got to get
Yeah.
into. What is the deal with this ESPN announcer hating on our game?
Ben McDonald
Bad
of
take of the week.
ESPN.
Bad take of the week.
So the situation happened. They showed those NHLers of the Hawks, and they showed Chris Chelios, and it's on ESPN for ESPN Baseball, right? And they're previewing the season opener of NHL next week of Panthers and Blackhawks. And his color commentator says to him, hey, we got the 2-time defending champ starting next week. Hockey on ESPN. I'm sure the first thing he said was, you think they go back to back here? And he's like, honestly, I don't know. Or I don't care, basically.
Yeah.
And then he said, oh, well, you're going to catch that game, right? Opening night of hockey. He's like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be watching that game at all. And it was clearly, them trying to promote things that are on ESPN since they're both ESPN commentators. Yeah. And the one guy was just not having it. This guy's trying to set it up on a tee for him that, we should promote this. And Ben McDonald was completely uninterested. He's like, I'm not going to lie. I will not be watching that.
Here's the thing about Ben McDonald. He was the first overall pick. I'd never heard of him until, Monday.
Yeah. For MLB, number one pick.
He was a number one pick in the MLB, and I hadn't heard of him until Tuesday when he was on the call. I'm like, who the hell is this Ben McDonald?
He had a very ride the bench platoon player
Shocker.
career. Yeah,
Shocker.
This is so unnecessary, man. Like, what's the deal? Well, I don't understand, like, why this is a thing with like these guys aren't into hockey. Where I just feel like hockey gets more hate than these other sports.
And I mean, here's the thing: there's a reason why MLB's cutting ties with ESPN.
What's the reason?
Reasons like this. I mean, they can't promote their product.
Yeah.
You know,
there's been a few other gaffes this year like this.
The Sunday Night Baseball has been absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Just I'm so excited that it's getting off of ESPN. It used to be great like 20 years ago. John Miller and Joe Morgan were absolutely electric, and now it's just gone way downhill.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, I'm not really sure. I don't know about hockey too much, but yeah, I'll definitely be tuning in. It's on our network.
At least pretend to
He
care.
just completely shut it
disregarded.
down and basically said, yeah, who cares about this?
Unbelievable,
And then
dude.
he doubled down the following morning when asked about it, and I believe it was Wake Up Barstool had him for a video interview, and he said, yeah, to be honest, I didn't even know the NHL had or the ESPN had the NHL rights for this season.
How
It's
could
like
you be working for
you
this
How
work
organization
clueless
and not
are
know
you?
that?
How clueless are you?
That's unreal.
Absolutely unreal. I mean, it's inexcusable.
Honestly, I don't know if you're allowed to say this, but he should probably be axed for that.
I mean, there's a reason why ESPN.
At least it's sussy. I don't know.
There's a reason why ESPN isn't going to be covering the division or the championship or the World Series.
And they probably shouldn't be covering. They should probably stay away from hockey too.
Who's getting that
they
FS1?
Yeah. They don't know the
FS1 and
covering game.
TBS.
FS1,
Not giving it the credit it deserves there.
No, absolutely not.
No.
But I mean, stick taps to hockey, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
exactly.
We're gonna power through this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the stick test for PK Subban, by the way, got extension. Yeah, that's one positive I
Yeah.
gotta say. Subban's been a breath of fresh air there.
And another guy who was added, TJ Oshie.
That's right. He's
TJ
gonna-
Oshie was made for this. He was made for that. You love to see that for TJ Oshie. What a likable guy, great personality. So I think we got to get into the biggest Chicago sports games of the weekend, fellas. I think we all agree it's the Chicago Blackhawks.
The weekend
preseason.
doubleheader.
I think we all agree those are the biggest games of
Yes.
the docket, right? I mean, Cubs playoff baseball. No, it's Blackhawks preseason hockey. Those are the big games of the weekend. We all, everybody's saying it. Everybody agrees. Two last ones, both at home. We got Friday versus Minnesota and Saturday versus the Blues. Fellas, what are we expecting here? I believe Blashill said one of the games are going to play mostly the NHL lineup. It's going to be tonight,
I think
Friday.
that's going to be the
It's going
tonight
to
game.
be mostly NHL lineup. I'll just roll through it here. We got the lines, mostly what we've seen in camp and practice. We got Donato, Bedard, Burakovsky, Tavo, Nazar, Burt, Slager, Dickinson, Mikheyev, Doc, Foligno, Lafferty. Then we got Grizzly, Rinzel, Kaiser, Levchinov, Alan Murphy, and then Knight's going to be in net. So that's what we're going to see tonight. And then tomorrow's probably be a younger lineup. Rest up the boys, make
That's
sure
where
they're ready
you
to go
get
for
like
Tuesday.
the Kevin Korchinski call up.
Right, yeah. We're
Yeah,
probably
we
going
were
to see a
talking
lot of
about that, yeah.
the prospects, probably the young guys. Well, Korchinski's not a prospect, but a lot of the younger guys,
No,
like
he's
the
still a
Rockford
prospect.
guys.
He's still called. No, actually,
you?
he's not.
No,
called
he's
a
played a whole
prospect.
season.
He's played a full season.
Anyone
You're
who's
right,
not
you're right.
Calder eligible, I don't consider it a prospect, even
Fair.
though he's an ice hog for now. But yeah, so today will definitely be a more exciting lineup, and tomorrow more of a younger lineup. So,
Yeah.
but no, excited for these last couple preseason games and just see how these final sort of roster battles play out. We kind of have a 90% idea of what the team's going to look like. It's really just those last few spots you got to figure out between who of Moore, Green, Reichel's going to be on the team. I'm assuming Reichel. We keep hearing he's going to get traded at some point. We're still waiting on that. The daily mention of Lucas Reichel going to be traded and still hasn't been traded yet. But maybe by the weekend we'll have a resolution.
I'm looking
I
at
don't know.
Nat behind the producer's desk
I'm
here. and
so sorry,
It's just
Nat.
a big face palm.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Nat.
Something.
Yeah, I'm not really expecting much with him with the return, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It would be nice. It would be nice. Just I'm prepared for disappointment.
You know,
there.
I did see this float around Twitter today. Someone who covers the Nashville Predators did say that Chicago was pushing the tires on Luke Evangelista.
Really
Interesting.
Yeah.
So wow, we threw that out there, but
So
it's
you
like,
think that's a Reichel play right there?
I mean,
Reichel and a third round
do
pick.
you really think they just give
fourth
up
round pick?
Evangelista
Yeah.
and a 1-for-1 with Reichel? Like
No,
we probably have to put a sweetener in there.
Yeah, you got to put
draft
like
pick
a fourth round for a sixth round or something like
We'd
that.
have to give up something else there.
Yeah.
There's no way they'd be stupid enough to just take Reichel Evangelista 1-for-1, right? Maybe they would be. I don't know. It's
I
the
mean,
Predators.
Nashville's going down, deep dark paths, so you really never know.
You never
That
know,
is
man.
true.
I would make that deal all day. I would make that deal all day. if I'm the Blackhawks, if I'm them, I wouldn't make that deal. But that'd be interesting. Evangelista, that's another one that's an interesting one. I know, back to NHL out here, but that's one of the few remaining RFAs who's still unsigned. I believe he had a 2x1 offer presented to him.
That was false. It was more like a 2x2.
2x2 offer,
confirmed by Elliot Friedman.
I was gonna say that just seems disrespectful. The 2x1. That's a little better, but still.
Yeah, that
still
was more like a
there.
qualifying offer, I would believe.
Yeah, still unsigned there. We'll see if they can get that result before the season's coming up. So we'll see if they can get that.
If not,
it's him and Holtz, right?
Him and Holtz, yeah. Those are the two big ones that I'm seeing, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't heard much about what's going on with the Holt situation compared to the
because
rest.
again, I mean, when you look at Vegas, I don't know if he's a roster player
top
for
priority,
Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, with the
He
situation,
might fit into the bottom 6, but
yeah, maybe that could be who knows? Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so the latest from Elliot Friedman and Reichel. Chicago's trying to see what's out there for him. He's heard someone has offered a late round pick, and that there's no shortage of interest in Reichel. Wow, no shortage of interest in Reichel. That's surprising to hear. I'm surprised we haven't seen a deal yet, if that's the case.
Yeah,
but
right.
Do we have a Fellas, do we have a Lucas Reichel bidding war going on right now? I mean, they said not to expect much of the return, but if there's multiple teams interested, surely we get something worthwhile in return.
yeah, I think. I'll bid a 5th round pick. Oh, I've got a higher 5th round pick. Okay, 4th round pick. I mean, that's really
That's
realistic.
about the height of it.
The best I could do is a 3rd rounder. Best I can do.
Yeah, but that's
even that might be a little.
the Oilers' 3rd round pick. That's going to be in the 90s.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. By the way,
Great value for the 17th overall pick. Am I right?
Yeah, great, just outstanding. Love to see it. Stan Bowman masterclass as usual.
Per usual, yeah.
Man, another Lucas Reichel point here. It was pretty funny. So the NHL's been doing these pretty cool NHL personality videos where they ask a few of the more well-known players in the league, and questions about any topic. And one of them is, which teammate would you recommend or pitch to go feature on the show Love Is Blind on Netflix? And Connor Bedard's answer was Lucas Reichel.
Yeah.
Said he's a good German talker. He thinks he vibe well on the show. Lucas Reichel performing better off the ice than on it. Not surprising.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Lucas Reichel on Love Is Blind. What do you guys think about that?
Definitely something. I think Nat's got something on it.
Sign me up.
I was gonna say, yeah. Nat volunteers his tribute.
I volunteer as tribute.
Love that. So yeah, we'll see how Reichel's non-hockey. I'm just kidding. He's still got future in the game, right? Yeah, we'll see. What happens with him.
Future in the KHL.
Future with the Shanghai Dragons.
Ni hao.
Ni hao. Ni
Ni
hao.
hao.
But yeah, I think back to sort of the talking points of the Blackhawks here in the preseason. I think the last few spots we're really monitoring here is that last forward spot between Green and Moore. Then we have that 3 defensemen kind of battling for that last 6 defenseman slot there between Nolan now and Ethan Del Mastro, and we'll see if Grizzly can get a deal here.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see if they trust their guys or they trust Matt Grizzly, because as Kyle Davidson alluded to in his interview, it's like, hey, it's either he gets signed to us or he's a showcase for 31 other teams.
Right. I would much rather give either Del Mastro or Allen that slot. I don't think we need to be signing Matt Grizzly. I don't think he really helps his team much. I think he just takes up spots that we should be giving to the young guys. I thought that's what the season's all about, is playing the future. So
yeah,
if that's the case, both Allen and Del Mastro got plenty of reps with the Hawks last year. Why shouldn't one of those or both of those guys be on the team? I don't think we need Matt Grizzly. He's basically just a better version of TJ Brody. I don't think this team needs another 30-plus-year-old veteran defenseman. We got Connor Murphy back there.
You really had to bring him up, didn't you?
I consider Vlasic a vet at this point, and he should be back by the season opener. He'll be out the rest of the preseason.
Because here's the thing with Matt Grizzly is, he put up 40 points last year. Are you really going to put 40 points on your 3rd pair?
It doesn't move me, man. It doesn't. No. That was with the Penguins. Whatever. It doesn't move me. I don't think he makes his team better. We have guys who can play in the power play here. We got the Renzels and the Arties and the Vlasics. We don't need Grizzly.
No, even Wyatt Kaiser. I wouldn't be mad at Wyatt Kaiser quarterbacking a PP2 if it came down to it.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there, right? Who takes a look at Grizzly if he doesn't get a contract here? Who decides to sign him? But I haven't really particularly noticed him that much in the preseason, to be honest. I wouldn't say is the showcase. I haven't noticed much. If it's a showcase you haven't noticed much, that's probably not a good thing.
Right.
So, but somebody should sign. He had 40 points last year, so you think somebody will sign him up for the 3rd pair there. We'll see what happens there. Yeah. Yeah,
I was gonna say, do you not see the situation where it could be beneficial that he does get signed? These guys did see NHL time, all of our young defensemen, and they've sort of grown a little more comfortable in that role. But if guys aren't ready, like Korchinski's got sent down, we'll see who makes the last roster spots going forward here. But could he be valuable just in terms of being that mentoring piece in case some of these D guys aren't that far along? I don't hate it. I don't hate it if it happens. I could see it being potentially beneficial.
I mean, I guess like Connor Murphy's going to the last year of his contract, so I
Yeah,
guess
like if he gets dealt, like at the
if you
deadline.
plan on trading Murphy, then suddenly you have no defense in this team who are above the age of 24. So in that instance, maybe then there's some validation to that, bringing on a guy like that. So maybe he can repeat that. Maybe he can have that type of effect again. I think on this team there's a lot more competition for spots in that decor. So I expect him to kind of go back to what he was before, kind of 20-ish range. Third pair of minutes. Like he's not going to get the same like reps that he did with Pittsburgh last year. So
I would agree.
I don't expect him to have the same impact. I definitely see regression there. So, but maybe not. He could be beneficial from that standpoint. Maybe not necessarily on the ice, but off the ice, there could be something to that because it is a very young decor, right? So, I can understand it's never really a bad thing to have a couple more, vets in the room that could kind of help out that standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not the Brody, but he could be like the Alec Martinez, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Martinez is on ice.
We
player.
love Alec Martinez
I
around here.
prefer Alec
Yeah, we do.
Martinez versus TJ
He's
Brody.
a Miami Red Hawk.
Because TJ Brody was bad on and off the ice. Martinez was at least good off the ice. So good leader in the room. So if he can provide that, then fine. Speaking of the defense here, it does sound like via Ben Pope that they do plan on running Kaiser and Levshun together pretty much all year. That's going to be a locked-in defensive pairing. He said their styles complement each other and they've also become good friends. Wyatt understands, Artie.
Yeah.
He understands.
I wonder if he's been taking
understands
some,
it now. Good.
Duolingo.
I wonder, is he teaching him the Belarus?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was funny. There was a part in the article where they're talking about Levshinov's robust sense of humor.
He does seem like a good vibes guy, does he not?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the Hawks, I've just said this before on the show, but the Hawks vibes, like, I got to give the social media team credit. They've been cooking with the content they've been producing on TikTok and Instagram and the whole 9 yards.
yeah.
Like, they've really been showcasing just like the positive vibes of this young team.
Yes.
Did you guys saw the Rock video the other day?
Yeah, that
Nona anthropologists Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar.
Frank was like, "Is this from the parking lot?"
I'm really surprised. He's like, wait, this rock looks like an L. I mean, if you flip it over, it looks like a 7.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
Frank
Frank
always
is
in
the
his
CEO
head.
of brain. Right? Did you see him like Cole Hudson's post? Cole Hudson switched number 67 for BU there because he wore
that was
23 and 44.
insane.
Frank Nazar commented on that post on Instagram. Generational aura. I love Frank Nazar. This guy's the best. I mean, every show I'm gonna probably be glazing this guy, but Frank Nazar is just that's my boy, man. That's my boy. I love that guy.
Bro's got brain rot out the wazoo. It seems, but
this is
we're here for it.
Yeah, for sure. Back to Wyatt Kaiser here. He had some kind of nice insights that Artie Lepshidov of the kind of situation he's in. This is quoting Kaiser. I can't imagine trying to go into a different country and listen. I feel like I understand it pretty well, so I can try to help him. So it's good to see Kaiser kind of being that type of mentor for Lepshidov. I feel like those two could complement each other pretty well. Yeah. Kaiser's definitely a very defensive-oriented defenseman, right? And not super flashy, not going to get super involved in the offensive zone.
He can if he wants to.
But he can if he wants to. He's got that speed. He's got that skill, right? I'd like to see that. That's the guy where we'll be interested to monitor him this year, right? Only 4 goals and 4 assists in 57 games last year. He's got that new deal, a bridge deal, right? Very curious to see how he performs this year. I think that's a guy who can really step up.
Yeah.
Wyatt Kaiser, especially playing second pair of minutes all year, 20 plus
absolutely.
minutes. Yeah, can he have that type of...
He looked good last year next to Renzel. So now you just got to transfer that to Levshinov.
Now, is that a guy who could have an Alex Vlasic trajectory? I'm not saying he's going to be Alex Vlasic, but can he have that
I think
trajectory?
we discussed this previously. I think we said,
but not with Kaiser. Not with Kaiser.
did we not say he could
was-
be Alex Vlasic light?
We talked.
we
We
said that about Del Mastro.
Not,
Yeah,
not Kaiser. I
I
think Kaiser's more likely.
Okay. All right.
I rate
I can
Kaiser
see
higher than
that.
Del Mastro.
I don't think the defense will be as good as Vlasic, but I think the offense is, a step ahead in the next
I
year.
feel like there's potential there. I feel like there's potential there.
I mean, we saw his great snipe in the preseason.
He's shown some
right?
flashes. He's shown some
He's
flashes.
shown a lot of flashes,
Yeah.
and
I think so.
I think him and Levshinov is the right move. I think they work off each other well.
And then you have Vlasic Renzel as your top pair.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes. Speaking of Alex Vlasic, we got update from Scott Powers. Alex Vlasic update. Still considered day to day. The Jeff Blash show is hopeful he will play in the opener. We'll be back for that, but it's not a guarantee. So we'll be out for the preseason precautionary, and they hope we'll be back for Tuesday against Florida. We will definitely hope for that because I think the D-Corps definitely needs him back there. So worst case, maybe he misses the opening game and should be back soon. So that's good news there. Dodged a bullet there for Vlasic. So
we're
that's good.
talking about people who can take the Alex Vlasic trajectory. You said Wyatt Kaiser. I think that's kind of a hot take. Do we have any more hot takes that we want to give out for the Blackhawk season?
Ooh, Blackhawks hot takes.
Can I start?
Yeah, you start.
Because I was the one who put this in the notes. I think this would be super cool to just have one Blackhawks hot take going into the season. Season starting on Tuesday. I was doing a little bit of research last night. Spencer Knight on Sportsbooks over under is 19.5 wins.
pretty low.
Yeah, pretty
But
low.
It's a Blackhawks team. But
Yeah, so I mean, I like the over, but I'm gonna give an even hotter take. I think he's the first goaltender in 10 years since Corey Crawford in 2016-17 to reach 25 wins.
25 wins for Spencer Knight. So that would mean we got to think about
It's
this
really
for a
been
while.
that long?
How much
Yeah.
games he started?
Oh my
What's his record?
gosh.
How much games he started?
I think he starts. I'm gonna say he starts 55 games.
Oh, so you think
Interesting.
that you think they're going to treat Knight as like a true starter, give him the bulk of the games?
That's why you give him the big money.
The
right?
$5.83
If
million
you're paying
contract.
him that,
Fair.
I don't know how you can go tandem.
Fair.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially with
Yeah.
Soderblom's inconsistencies, even though they don't want to bring up Drew Comesso, even though that's the right call.
He's ready.
Yeah, he is ready per CHR.
55 games, 25 wins, so he's going 25 and 30 approximately.
Yeah.
Starts. The games that the goalies could be tricky to figure out. But
Yeah, I mean-
25 wins. So that would mean then Soda's playing 27 about.
Yeah.
How much wins is he getting? Is if Knight's winning 25 and Soda's playing 20 about that much games.
I mean,
then-
just based on past performances, I mean, you're probably looking at anywhere between 8 to 10 wins.
so that would mean this team's winning about 30 35 games this year.
Yes.
You know what?
The over under is 69.5 points. I think we shoot over. There's been there's been talks on other podcasts saying that this team's not ready for it. I think this team's ready to go over that point total.
Over 69 points. Nice.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so 30-ish wins, 70-ish points. It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's a reasonable take.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean,
25 plus.
25 plus wins for Spencer Knight is my hot
The
take.
thing with me, though, is this is going to be Spencer Knight's first full year as a starter. So I could just see them kind of trying to grow him into that. I could see it being more of a 60-40 split versus a 70-30 split in that.
Fair.
I think with Soda, I mean, he showed a lot last year. Yes, his contract's it's a backup contract, not a starter contract. So, but it wouldn't surprise me just based off his experience here and how long he's been around here, and then honestly, like last year he was consistent. Like, yeah, the year before he wasn't, but like if he continues to show that form, like it wouldn't shock me if they give him a decent amount of starts.
I mean, he's
you
still
know?
got a sub 900 save
Spencer
percentage.
Knight's like he's young.
But, I
Spencer
mean-
Knight's 24 years old. I mean, do you really want to like throw him to the wolves like
Yes.
that right away? I mean,
Yes.
we did just give him that contract, and I guess that's why you acquired him
I
to
mean,
be a starting
I'm looking at
goaltender.
other goalies around the league, like Lucas Dostal. They're throwing him to the
You
wolves.
think he could have a Dustin Wolf effect?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Lucas Dostal, you mentioned Dostal.
I
yeah.
think that I just think that Knight. I think they're not giving him enough credit. I don't think they're giving this team enough credit. I think 25 wins for Spencer Knight, the first player in 9 seasons, first goalie in 9 seasons. Obviously, because the Blackhawks have had a lot of non-stable goaltending
They haven't really
issues.
had a reliable goaltender since
Mrazek.
that Flower for a year, the fever dream, not even a year.
That
Yeah.
was like 75% of the season.
Robin Leonard.
Robert Leonard.
Robin Leonard,
Oh,
and even then
yeah.
he was a 50-50 split with Crawford.
Yeah.
So since Corey Crawford, we have not had a stable goaltender.
You know what? I don't hate it. I don't hate that hot take at all. I'd love to see it.
All right.
I think Spencer Knight's a guy I mentioned before, biggest X factor. I think.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, if that's a guy who takes that step and takes that breakout and plays to that contract and improves himself as the Hawks star of the
That's
future,
big.
which was the vision when they acquired him. I mean, you don't trade Seth Jones with this guy, thinking he's going to be just a freak. You trade
Yeah.
him thinking that's going to be your goaltender of the future. So I think give him every opportunity to do so this year. The more reps, the more starts he gets, the better. So I'd like to see it.
All right, Justin or Charlie, do you have you guys formulated a hot take?
I have one.
I have one as well. Do you
I'll-
want to
I'll
go?
let you go
I'll
first.
Go.
I'll
Yeah,
let you
I'll
go
go
first.
ahead.
Save the best for last.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. The
Yeah. glazing
glazing is unreal.
Dude, you keep saying it's me. I got to return the favor sometime.
I appreciate that, Noah.
So I'm going to go ahead and I don't know how hot this is, but I think this is the year for a breakout for Connor Bedard, like we're all expecting. But I think he's a point per game player this year.
Yeah. Yes.
I
Yeah.
think that's the expectation.
I think he is, but I think he is 90 plus or 80, 85 plus, 90. I'll go 90 plus to make it hotter. He's
I like
putting
that.
up
Okay,
90
I like
points
it.
this
So I
year.
was going to say, saying Connor Bedard is going to be a point per game player, I wouldn't consider that a hot take. But saying 90 plus
that's
points,
like the expectation.
that's a hot
So,
take.
so
90
Vegas,
points, yes.
Vegas has him at 70 points.
That's disrespectful.
So yeah,
that's
that-
disrespectful.
and that's Vegas. That's different from hockey fans' perspective
It's like-
and expectations for the season.
It's like they just
It's a
looked at
little
last
different.
season, just Control C, Control V, but like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
And
disrespectful.
I'm sure part of their low total does involve the Hawks being
Standings-wise,
probably a
being
bottom
around the
5
same
team,
spot.
and they don't expect
Yeah.
that.
Not having a
They don't
superstar.
expect
Not
that
really bringing in
production.
a ton in the offseason, kind of relying on the kids,
not having a
versus
what?
the vets.
Not
Yeah.
having a superstar on his wing.
Yeah, exactly.
True, right.
Having Andre Burakovsky on his
And then
I-
Ryan- yeah.
I mean,
don't
come on
know.
now.
Don't know how long that's going to last.
I don't think
through
he's
this
going to last
season.
up there very
I
long.
mean, we talked about this. It's going to be Oliver
Donato's
Moore by
gonna
the end of
be
the
up
year.
there.
I don't,
but
I don't
yeah.
want to see Burakovsky in there in 2026.
No,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think that
anyone
happens.
wants to see that. I don't think I want to see that in. Yeah, no. for
Once
sure.
we-
I don't
once
want to
we
see
hit-
that come January.
That's what I'm saying. 2026. Like
Oh, the calendar year
halfway
2020.
through
I
this
got you,
year.
I got it,
Okay, all
got
right.
you,
I thought you were
got
talking about the 2026, 2027.
I was with you there. I was with
But
you there.
I
Fair-
like
fair
that.
confusion.
I like that.
I'm taking the yes on that hot
Yeah,
take. I
I
think
like
that,
it.
yeah.
I think he can reach 90 points this year because who else is going to score on this team? First of all, I mean, there is a few.
Frankie
it's
Superstar.
It's a little better than last year, obviously,
That's gonna
in
be
terms
mine.
of the depth and young scoring ability. But
I think there can be guys that I think Tyler Bertuzzi is going to be due for a bounce back year.
yeah,
His
40 to 50 points for him for sure.
I could
Tavo,
even-
50, 60.
Yeah, yeah.
Tavo 50, 60. Yeah.
Everybody's assuming
I don't know about
Donato,
Tyler
yeah.
though.
Everybody's assuming Donato's going to like fall off a cliff, but like, what if? I mean, if he's going to be stapled to Bedard's wing all year,
He's
like,
going to score
He's
20.
going to put up points.
he's gonna drop
goals,
another
yeah.
60-point season. If he's on Bedard's wing all year, there's no way he doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there is
and
a
I
way.
think he
but
was a healthy scratch to start last season.
he took that personal, and that's what became personal for me. That's all I
quite a
needed.
turnaround for him.
Yeah. Justin, are you ready?
Yeah, you know what? Ooh. This is gonna be
Scorching?
I'm gonna
Is it
bring
scorching?
the heat with this one. I'm going to bring the heat with this one. I don't even fully believe it, but I partially believe it, and I think the point of a hot take is to really say something absolutely insane.
Say it with your chest.
Buckle up. Frank Nazar is going to outproduce Connor Bedard this year.
Whoa. So he's scoring 91 points because you just agreed with me.
Sure,
He's getting 91.
I'm going to say Frank Nazar outproduces Connor. Frank Nazar will be the Blackhawks' leading points scorer this year.
That is scorching.
That is scorching.
I don't
That is
just think-
scorching.
But it's not like
It's not out of the realm, but like we're talking about Connor Bedard as a point per game player. You really think that Frank Nazar is going to be a point per game player this year? In his first full season in the NHL.
I understand it's just the preseason, but I think Frank Nazar has been more impressive in the preseason than Connor Bedard. I mean, he literally dropped the hat trick. He's been probably our best player every game so far.
He had the better celly.
I'll also argue he had to be because he just signed and he's got this confidence coming in.
Yeah.
And Betsy's got that motivation too in contract year for him. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Connor Bedard is
but-
going to be like one of the most motivated players in the league.
I think so. But
Yeah,
I just
you have to think so.
But like with the Blackhawks, man, like you watch these games, like they're zeroed in on him. Like they know, like okay, like, we got to shut this guy down. I just think with Frank Nazar having consistent line mates all year with Tavo and Burt, those three showed a lot last year. If you keep that consistent trio going all season, I think Frank's going to cook. I think I could see that being our top line, and I'm a little worried about what's going to happen with that first line. I think I trust Donato up there at Bedard, but I just worry that third spot's going to be a bit of a rotating, sphere there. And I just think I could see that first line with some really good games and some games you don't really notice in that much.
It's a lot better than last year where, Richardson would go into the blender and then Sorensen
I don't
would
think
go
it's
into
going to
the
be
blender.
that bad,
I don't
but
think it will.
But I don't love the fact of going into a year 3 and we still don't really have a true top line winger for Bedard. I don't love that. I think Nazar's probably going to have better line mates, more consistent line mates, and I just have a feeling just being on that second line, they're a little more sheltered, not playing the top, the other team's top lines every night. Like I think that's going to be beneficial for him. He's going to get first power play reps this year, and I look at that guy. He just seems so incredibly confident, man. Like I'm betting on Frank the Tank. I'm betting on Frank Nazar. It's not to say I don't think Betsy's going to have a great year. I think they're going to be very close. I think they're going to be neck and
So
neck.
does this 90-point season put Frank Nazar in the Olympics?
Dude, if he scores more points than Bedard on the
He's
Hawks,
gonna be on the US
he's
Olympic
on
team.
the Olympics.
Bro, look at what he did in the
100%.
World Championships. He was their best player. I get it's the World Championships. I'm aware. It's
Like-
just the World Championships. But
I think this is.
Do you think he doesn't
think I'm
get
crazy?
on?
So here's
I'm
my
crazy?
here's my realistic expectation for Frank Nazar this season. Obviously, it's an adjustment period for him playing his first full season in the NHL. I mean, I liked what I saw last year. You look at the 8-game stretch in April when all the kids were going, and
he was their best player. He was the Hawks' best player. The second half of the year, post-formations, Frank Nazar was the Hawks'
Yes,
best player.
yes.
And I think he's going to pick up right where he left off.
You look at the World Championship too, where he was an absolute superstar, bringing home the gold for the first time in like 90 years,
Since 1930?
1936 or something like that.
90-something years.
So and
91 years, I believe. Frank Nazar's number.
oh,
There you go.
Yeah.
91
There you
points,
go.
too. He's going to top Bedard.
so
Yeah, he's going to top.
my
Pause.
my biggest question mark for Frank Nazar this season can he finish on breakaways?
I think he will. I think we're already seeing it. I think we saw it towards the end of the year last year, and I think we've seen it so far in the glimpses of Expedition Hockey.
I think that's the only way that Justin's hot take can come true is if he does that.
If he starts to finish on those 1 to 2 breakaways, at a more consistent rate, like a 15% compared to 5%.
He was snake bitten last year.
He
was snake bitten.
I 100% agree with that.
I think the finishing is going to come this year. I think he's going to take the step anyway. I'm just thinking he's going to take that step quicker than expected. Some players, it's like they kind of pass a few tiers there, right? They kind of sort of skip that gradual climb. I think it's just going to happen. I think it's going to happen right away this year. I don't know. Maybe I'm being hopeful, right? I don't know. I'm very optimistic about Frank Nazar.
And then with all that success, we're going to get McKenna at number 16, right? We talked about earlier.
Wouldn't that be nice, man? Yeah, man. I hope that would happen. That'd be sick.
I think that's scorching, but I love the optimism.
Yeah. Again, I don't fully believe it. A lot of that's just kind of me just throwing a hot take out there, but I think it's possible. One other thing we got to talk about, smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire. Did you guys see the leak of the potential Blackhawks black alternate jersey online?
Baby.
Please be real.
Please be real. I don't know when they're gonna bring those out.
Yeah.
I know that it's going to be either this season or next year. I mean, there wouldn't be where there's smoke, there's fire. And I can't wait to get a number 91 Frank Nazar jersey with it.
Ooh, yeah. I got a Nazar Winter Classic jersey.
So who do you put on the black jersey then?
Well, I don't know if that's going to be this year.
Probably Bedard.
They said
I don't have a Bedard jersey.
Okay,
that might not be until next year, so maybe we'll wait for Frundell.
Till he was 15,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll wait for Frundell. Yeah, so then I have Bedsy, Nazar, Frundell.
You're not getting a Djurgården jersey?
No, I'll save it for
those are like $400 to
those are
ship
pretty
from
sick
Seriously.
jerseys,
Yeah.
though. Those are pretty sick jerseys.
Yeah, I assumed there was no production
It's
happening over here. So.
No. So I was looking at this. It's like 2,000 Swedish kroner to get it over here, and that's like
What's the currency rate
that's
there?
like $400
Kroner.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So yeah, I mean, I'm probably going Nazar if I go black jersey. I was thinking about Nazar for the Centennial or Alex Vlasic for the black jersey.
I like that.
Because
Vlasic, the hometown boy.
If you're gonna think about this, like this is a big heritage moment for a hometown kid. Like he grew up seeing the Blackhawks wearing those black jerseys with guys like Keith and Kane and Taze. Like why not Vlasic?
I think I might go, Bedard for when those alternates get released. Dark Bedsy.
Ooh, villain Betsy. Y'all see that Sherwood video of like the Darth Vader vibes
Yes.
with him? I love that. That's
Yes.
amazing, dude. Which, by the way, I almost hope I'm wrong with that prediction because, yes, I want to see Nazar up there with Bedard, but Bedard probably should be this team's leading producer. But I'm just trying to be different. I think everybody assumes that.
I love your take because
yeah.
especially if that happens, just look at how much of a steal that Nazar deal ends up being. Like we're all talking about it as great for the future now, but if he puts up 90 points
It's
right now,
great for now.
yeah, like one of the best deals in the
Contracts
league
in the league,
immediately. Yeah.
I
we
believe
were
in
talking
Frank.
about-
I believe in Frank.
We were talking about Wyatt Johnston being one of the good deals of the league. I mean, why not Frank?
Yeah.
Why not Frank?
Why not
Frank?
us?
Man, I love Frank.
Man, I love Frank.
Speaking of Frank Friday, Frundell Friday, it's time for Friday mailbag time. I think we got some questions this week. I'm checking one in the Chicago Hockey Radio Instagram DMs right now from Chris. For Friday mailbag, do you think Teuvo Teravainen will re-sign with the Hawks when his contract is up? Do you see him playing a big role this season? Well, I'll answer the last question there first. I do expect Teuvo to play a big role this season. A big part of that is because I think he's going to be playing with Frank all year, and I think those two are going to show some tremendous chemistry. I think we've already seen a little bit of it, right? So yeah, I think Teuvo should be. He had 15 goals, 43 assists for 58 points last year. I think he could do that.
That's
again.
great production.
That's solid production. I think he can improve that. I think he could be in the 60, 70 range.
Really?
I wasn't even going there, but I think he could do that. But we have to let the contract play out there. But his contract here expires after the 26-27 season. So he's got this year, and then he's got the year after. So by that point, he's 31 years old. He'll be 33 by that point. So bit past his prime by that stage.
I think, depending upon what happens with the prospects here, I mean, you've got so much talent coming over.
You might not need him.
It's really hard to say in the moment.
Yeah.
I would love, I think he's going to have a productive year this year. Obviously 50 to 65 point range, 55 to
It's doable,
65 is where
realistic.
I'd put
Yeah.
that.
Because when I look at this team in 3 years, the only three forwards that are locks for me are Oliver Moore, Frank Nazar, and Connor Bedard.
Frundell.
Well, I mean, Anton Frundell's not on the team yet.
Right. The players
right.
are here.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The three that are, either fighting for or will be on the opening night roster.
There's going to be so many guys coming in there. You got to think of the Cancerovs
You don't
and the
think Colton Dock's
Lardises and
around
the
in 3 years as a
Boisvers
lock?
and all
Who?
these guys.
Colton
like,
Dock?
No.
Yeah.
Again,
No.
everybody's a
No.
guarantee there, but it's like, I think
Because
it's, yeah.
I mean, I get you because guys are going to come up through the system, and then once it's time for us to compete, we're going to be signing guys, and we're not going to have room
I mean,
for.
you look at all those first round picks over the last 2 years. You got guys like Sasha Boisvert, Merrick Van Acker, Vaclav Nestrasil, Mason West. Like, those 4 right there. And then you look at, guys like Nick Lardis. You look at guys like Anton Frundell, Roman Kanserov. Yeah, I'm going to get my Roman
I think
Kanserov.
the point you're getting to here is like if these guys pan out the way they do, it's like you don't really see room in the top. Teravainen's a top 6. I mean, I guess he could be like he can be a third liner. He could
be a third liner towards the end of his career.
So
Yeah.
he could still have a. It depends. It kind of depends on what he does these next 2 years. Like it's hard to answer that question now about if Taylor's going to resign in 27, 28. We got to see how he performs, but I mean, he's still going to be 33. That's still a solid age, right? He's still got some good years left in him. So I mean, if he's still impactful on both sides of the game and special teams as well, and I see no reason why not. He's got ties here. He's been around here for a while. Won a cup here in 2015. Fans love him. So if he loves it here and the team's trending up, you can't just have a team of a bunch of 20-year-olds. Like you want to have those guys who are kind of in that range. So good, reliable vets. So if he can establish himself as more of a leader on this team too, I think that's a key factor. I like to see more leadership from Teravainen. I know he's more of a quieter guy, more of a chill guy, but I like to see him kind of grab the mantle a little bit, be more assertive. That comes to it. I want to see him shoot the puck more. He's a playmaker. I get it, but he's got a good shot. I want to see him fire the puck more this year. I think he should be scoring at least 20 goals. 15 goals. I know he had a bunch of assists, but he's got to be scoring at least 20 goals.
Boom, boom, boom. Now let me hear you say Tavo.
Yeah, turbo time, baby.
All right. I think it's time to get into our Discord questions.
That's right. Discord questions.
I do have these pulled up.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I want to shout out producer Raven, who is not here with us, but in spirit.
Yes, the spirit of Raven Gasser.
The spirit of Raven Gasser. So this first question comes from DJ. Justin,
DJ Khaled.
Will you be bringing back the Hawks drinking game now that the team is trending up?
Wait, sorry. Can I ask, what is the Hawks drinking game?
You don't know this?
I do not know this.
How do you not know this, Lord?
Well, for those who don't, you're about to learn too. You're in my boat.
Yeah. So a quick disclaimer here. I am not responsible for. It's whatever. It says
like the
it can be
gambling
chalk,
disclaimer?
It can be chocolate milk for all I care. It doesn't have to be a beverage of an alcoholic beverage. But yeah, I did this.
I'll do it with
drinking game
water
for the Blackhawks, where it's like if Bedsy produces or like if the announcer says this, like every time Darren Pang says "holy jumpin'," like that's a shot, something like that. So like it's like announcer cues, it's game cues every time there's a goal or something like a penalty, like something like that.
It's like a Hawks game bingo card.
Yeah, it's the Hawks. You see it for like a super like big games. Like I would do that for Hawks regular season games. I don't always do it because I think it gets kind of repetitive and there's I might bring it back. I don't have the answer to that right now. I may or may not bring it back. I think that was kind of easy to do when the team was bad. Now that hopefully the team, I mean, this year they'll probably be pretty bad, but in the future you hope they won't be. So hopefully we won't have to do those types of games. So so potentially, I'm not a yes or no answer to that.
Okay,
potentially.
Right.
The door is open.
Then we've got 2 questions from Penguin. I'll start off with the first one. What do you think the Hawks team record will be this season?
Down to a T.
Okay, let me think about the math here in my head for a second before I provide that answer. I will say 30, 42, and 10. I'll say they just about crossed that 30 win plateau, which that would be what, 70 points? So
72.
72 points, actually.
Because you said 32, 40, and 10, correct?
No, 30, 42, and 10.
Oh, 30, 42, and 10. So that would be 70 points, yes.
So one really close to greatness there, just one away from greatness.
Really, that many overtime losses?
10 overtime losses. Well, I just think it's going to be a young group. Well, I mean, if you have Bedsy, Nazar, and Renzel as your number one, that 10 overtime losses might be a bit much, but it's a young group too. I'm going to stand by that. I would say 30, 42, and 10. I have a feeling the Hawks have quite a few regular. I think they have quite a few extra inning games this year, so that's why I say they might still have a pretty decent record there. Yeah, I'll say 30 wins, 70 points. I think that's pretty doable. What that'd be 9-point improvement, which I believe that they went from 52 to 61 last year. I think they go from 61 to 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 30 wins is pretty achievable. Would that be how much more wins? 4 more wins? 5 more wins.
Yeah, that'd be a big improvement for a team.
Solid improvement. Nothing's like that. I think that's solid, realistic improvement. I think that assumes breakout seasons from Bedsy and Nazar and the like, and those young guns are producing, and Knight's doing well as a starter, and yeah, I think that's an achievable tally. I think that's realistic. Yeah.
Okay, Charlie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go slightly below you, 29, 42, and 11.
Okay, so that's 69 points.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
Like literally slightly below you there.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think, what did I have? One more overtime loss than you on that? You had 10?
That's I 10.
Yeah. They're going to get to games where, it'll be close, and I think they will lose a lot in overtime just because of inexperience and the state of the teams. And you did mention Nazar and Bedard in overtime, but when we look around the league and to some of these 3-on-3 squads
that's what I'm saying.
that some teams can roll out,
Yeah,
it's pretty competitive in terms of those 3-on-3 lineups.
I don't know. I just felt like, going like the last month of the season when the kids were up. I mean, whenever we got into overtime, I mean, it was a pretty good battle.
Yeah,
There was a lot
more
of losses last year though in overtime. But I know what you mean. Like towards the end of the year, yes. So if they pick up where they left off, yes.
I look at the Utah game where Bedard scored the overtime winner. I look at the
Nazar shootout winner against Montreal,
and the Nazar game-winning overtime goal against Ottawa. Yeah. That's what I look for.
Okay.
So my record prediction, I'm going to go 33, 45, and what would that be? Here, let me
4, 33, 45, and 4. That's the math. 33,
4 overtime
45,
losses.
78 plus 4 is 82.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that'd be 70 points. So you have the same amount as you?
No, I'll go 33, 42, and 7.
33, 42, and 7. So
Did I do
73
the math?
points.
That is the math.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that would put us in line for 73 points.
So Lucas Reichel reference.
Yeah, it might be a Lucas Reichel reference.
Yeah, number 73, Lucas Reichel.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of in the same ballpark. We're within. Y'all are just like looking at my answer and just like, oh yeah, I'll take your homework. I'm just gonna switch it up a little bit here.
I think we put the over on the point total. I think that we're going to be better but I think that we're going to be better in overtime than the two of you think.
Fair. All right.
I just think that there's going to be a lot of growth with this team, and I think a 10-point improvement. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Well, I think we all hope to see that there for sure.
Yeah. All right. Our last question here, also from Penguin. Your favorite obscure Blackhawks player?
Favorite obscure Blackhawks player all time, or I assume all time for that one.
Probably.
He left
all
it
time.
open-ended, so it's up to interpretation.
Yeah, I'll assume all time. All right. Obscure. So when I'm thinking obscure, I'm thinking like a crazy poll, like a poll that like not just anybody would think. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to think about my answer and let you two answer that first. Because I answered first last, so you guys get the answer first.
All right, I'll start
I need
with
to think
this.
about that one.
He's my profile picture on the YouTube chat. I do have a jersey of him that I bought off of eBay. Give me number 8, Dominic Kubalik.
I knew you were going to say that.
Is that obscure enough?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, it's obscure enough.
I guess.
So Dominic Kubalik, that 2019-2020 season, COVID shortened, putting up 30 goals, looked amazing with Saad and Taze on that first line in the playoffs. I mean, he stepped up in that series versus Edmonton. I really like Dominic Kubalik here. I'm a big supporter of Dom Kub. I mean,
you love your Kubalik.
I love Dominic Kubalik, man. I mean, that's the one guy I look towards to be like an obscure Blackhawk that
random 30-goal season, then fell off the face of the earth.
He's got a special place in my heart.
Fair enough. I always remember that goal he had where Taze threw him that backhand saucer pass, then he banked it in the air.
Yeah,
insane goal. All right, Charlie, you got yours.
All right, Blackhawks legend Daniel Carcillo.
The car bomb.
Daniel Carcillo.
What
a pull.
Shout out to Dan. I
what
believe.
A pull.
I'm not sure how involved he is in hockey now, but he was a fun part of my youth Blackhawks watching experiences. I know what he does now is related to like you've seen his Instagram, right, Nolan?
Oh, he's got some interesting.
He posts a lot about like mushrooms, I think it is.
Oh wow,
like regenerative.
I did not know about this.
Some alternative science he's really into, but. Yeah, Daniel Carcillo, interesting follow on Instagram.
So big Joe Rogan listener.
I think it's like a like some sort of like rehabilitation for the body. So something he's involved in. Some health thing he's doing nowadays.
My favorite Daniel Carcillo moment was that 2013 game winner with like a minute left against Colorado to keep the streak alive.
Yeah.
That was a big one. Yeah, we went 21-0-3, 24 games. I got some Carcillo lore as well. Actually, in my St. Ignatius high school days, he was actually an off-ice kind of dryland coach for us for a little bit.
That's pretty awesome, yeah.
Did he have a kid that go there? Or how did that How did he end up at Ignatius?
Well, he wasn't. It wasn't with Ignatius. I think like, he did it with us, and like also like the other kind of teams that went there, like the Mission and the Stallions and things like that.
At Fifth Third.
At Fifth Thirds, yeah. So
Okay.
I think he had something with that, and that's
it.
how he
Very
helped us out.
cool.
That he didn't work with Ignatius, but
I got it.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's an intense guy, man. He was something, but helped keep us in good shape there. So that
Yeah.
was pretty cool. All right, I think I have my answer. I don't know really how obscure it is. Not really that obscure. Like I don't really consider anybody who's a Cup guy super obscure, but he's not like one of the first people you think of when you think of the Hawks 2010, 2015 teams. Give me Michael Hanzus.
Okay.
Is that obscure enough? Is that?
I
think it is, yeah.
I, mean, I
think
think
it
if
is.
Dominic Kubalik is considered obscure, I think Hanzus probably is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Carcillo is kind of on those teams, sort of on those teams too, kind of in between there. So
yeah, Hanzus had a big series against the Kings in 2014.
I just remember-
Big overtime goal.
Big
I-
overtime
yeah.
goal in that series.
I
yeah.
recall in 2013, the one thing that Hawks teams struggled with for whatever reason was faceoffs. But they just sucked at the dot. Like they were great at everything but faceoffs.
Outside of Tays.
Outside of Taves. The Hawks, they never really had a true 2C during all those years. Boland at points, and Hanzus kind of came in there and was outstanding. Great in the draws, right? Decent stats all around, and was just a really good sort of secondary scorer on those teams. So I was a big Hanzus guy. He also played with the Hawks, I think, a stint in the 2000s as well, I believe. So I think he was there for a year during the dark days. So
Nat texted us off cam, give Nat Jujar Kara.
Jujar Kara, that's
Nice.
a great one.
That's a great pull.
Now that's an obscure Blackhawk right there. Jujar Kara, lovely, simply lovely. I love that one. That's a good one.
No, I was a big fan of Jujar. That was like a running joke in our hockey editing community was Jujar Kara.
Jujar Kara, I love that. Jordan, I seen Jordan Tutus in the chat. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. I like that one. Yeah, Brent Sopel, that's a good one as well. Brent Sopel, I like that. John Madden, we got a few good polls in here.
John Madden's a good one.
Ben Eager.
Yeah, Ben Eager,
Ben
yeah.
Smith.
There's a lot of
Ben
good ones.
Smith.
Yeah.
Harvard. Harvard.
What's another good obscure one that I can think of?
What about Vinny Hinostroza?
Vinny Hinostroza, yeah,
He had
Notre
didn't
Dame
he have,
hockey
three
legend.
different stints at the team or something.
Yeah.
He was always kind of back and forth, right? Yeah, Rockford Ice Hogs legend Vinny Hinostroza. Yeah.
Where did they send him off to? Was it?
Florida.
Yeah, that's right.
Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon Peary. I know Nat's a pretty big Brandon Peary fan.
Drew
Yeah,
LeBlanc.
yeah.
Anyone?
Well, that's a poll.
That is a hell of a pull.
Drew LeBlanc.
I think he played like one game in because there was. I remember the 2013 team was so good, like they just didn't play in the regulars the last game, so it's basically the Ice Hogs the last game of the year that year. So you just see a bunch of random Ice Hogs players in the 2013 stats played one game that year. You could check hockey.
I think
it is pretty funny.
that 2013 year, it was one. I went to one of those last games of the year. It was Brent Seabrook's birthday, and he scored 2 goals that game.
That's
Like,
elite. He
against
just
the,
knew it was her birthday and just stepped up to the plate there.
The defunct Arizona Coyotes. He did the
No way.
blow out the candle on a cupcake celebration.
That's amazing. Richard Panik. Oh,
that one goal he scored against Pittsburgh.
that's when he absolutely undressed Malkin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a core Blackhawks.
He had some
memory
good
right
moments
there.
with the Hawks. He was
really-
fun.
yeah, yeah.
Anthony Duclair. Anyone?
Duclair, yeah,
Duclair's
that's
fun.
right. He wasn't here very long. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that just like a quick little detour and then gone. Alexander Karpatsev, if I did not pronounce that right.
That's a name.
Yeah, that was some. I'm assuming Russian. Yeah.
Dennis Arkhipov. I'll give you Dennis Arkhipov for one reason. The first Blackhawks game that I remember going to, he scored the game-winning overtime goal in a February 2007 game against the Flames. This was pre-Kane, pre-Tays.
Well, that's quite a pull there.
Yeah, that's a pull.
I don't really
yeah.
have any Blackhawks memories before Kane Tays. Yeah,
I guess I'm just built
I
different.
think I was blessed there. I think that's. I had a very spoiled childhood as a Blackhawks fan. Now my adulthood is doing a tankathon simulations and lottery watches.
Yeah,
versus
it's unfortunate.
versus getting home from school and watching playoff series. Those were the days, right?
Yeah.
But we're always
Staying
thinking
up-
about
staying up
nostalgia.
watching
but
that like triple overtime game against Anaheim or against Nashville.
Antoine Vermette, there's a poll.
Yeah, Antoine
Yeah,
Vermette.
yeah.
I mean, you can.
I didn't consider him
Is
obscure
that a
enough.
pull? Is Antoine Vermette a pull?
I mean, not really. Shamnov.
I mean, it was kind of interesting that Antoine Vermette era. I mean, I don't think he scored a goal in the regular season, did he?
He did it. I don't believe he did. But the playoffs, he was an absolute monster.
He was
Had
an
some
animal.
huge goals. He was clutch.
He
You
was
don't
an
win
animal.
that cup without him. Yeah. Marcel
Tomasz Kopecky?
Kopetsky. Yeah. The Hawks Florida pipeline was pretty insane in those
Yeah.
days. Like they sent Kopetsky there, they sent Campbell there. There were a couple
Rostislav Olesh.
yeah, there were a few others I believe they sent to Florida as well. They loved trading for each other back in the day. Yeah, and Versteeg went there as well. Yeah, we could go all day.
Vinny
here.
Hinostroza.
Vinny Hinostroza.
Brett
I think-
Connolly.
Someone said Vinny already.
No,
Vinny-
we're just talking about the Hawks to Florida pipeline.
Oh yeah,
Was Fleischman one of those guys?
Thomas Fleischman was one of those guys.
Fleischman.
Dale
Did he
Weiss.
play for the Hawks?
He did
Fleischman
briefly.
Hawks,
He was a
yeah.
16 trade deadline guy.
Yeah,
Dale Weiss,
Dale
Fleischman.
Weiss, Thomas
the other one.
Fleischman, and Dale Weiss.
but
for,
he wasn't drafted by the Hawks, Fleischman.
No.
He was on the Canadiens
No.
with Weiss, and they got traded at the deadline to the Hawks.
Gotcha.
Can you
For
tell
what?
me Philippe Deneau and a second round pick in 2018 that turned out to be Alexander Romanov.
Okay.
So it's kind of
David
funny
Rundblad.
how it comes full circle.
Rundblad. That's a pull.
It's kind of interesting how it comes full circle with Alexander Romanov because he was a part of that 3-team trade that sent Frank Nazar to the Hawks.
Oh wait, guys, I thought this guy was going to be the real deal for like 6 months. Peter Reagan,
Yeah.
How about Dylan Sakura? I thought he was going to be him.
Hobie runner up, or did he? He didn't win it.
No, he was a runner-up.
in
He was
the
up there.
conversation.
He was in the
then.
convo.
He
He was
was
in the
a
convo,
Northeastern boy, right?
Yeah.
right,
No, I remember the Hawks did like a whole like series of like signing Sakura or something like that on their
Dude.
YouTube.
And then what happened?
He fell off.
Yeah.
Speaking of college hockey guys, real ones though, Kevin Hayes was drafted by the Blackhawks but never signed. And then
Same
was
with
traded.
Justin Hull.
Same with Hydra Bombers, Coughing Baby. That's the third time. The third time I made that joke in the show today.
Third time's
I'm-
a charm, right?
I'm truly sorry. Hartman, I don't know if I'll catch Hartman obscure.
Any love for Sheldon Brookbank?
Sheldon Brookbank.
Wow.
That was.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I was a fan. You know, it's my
Shel-
boy.
Sheldon
I
Brookbank,
was
that was
sad
your
to see
boy.
him go.
John Scott's not a poll. That's an
No,
easy one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
an All-Star game legend right there.
That's an All-Star game
not
MVP.
A poll.
I'll never forget when he fought Patrick Kane. Yeah. Well, chat, we could go all day here, but I think this will probably be a good time to wrap. I think once we start talking about John Scott fighting Patrick Kane at the All-Star game, that probably means we're getting a little off the railroad
Yeah,
tracks
maybe.
here.
I have a couple of things I want to add here before we let go for Friday. So one, the Knobloch extension, at least that it's 3 years. Okay. So it seems like Edmonton is planning on having this like window, where like Connor signs for like maybe 2-3 years, right? And like they're gonna, but man, they've like made everything about this team like it's Connor's team more or less. Like there are some depth issues I would say that are due to like poor trades and not really having the assets to make good trades anymore. Yeah, but like the Knobloch stuff and the Jeff Jackson stuff and all that is like those are Connor's guys, right?
Yeah.
So
So you think Connor's you think that's a sign that it's a 3-year deal is on the way for him, short-term deal?
I don't know. I don't know.
Kind of matching the timelines a bit.
Yeah.
I believe Connor McDavid when he says like he wants to like see how it goes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is gonna be-
Edmonton has started really poorly the last 2 years, and
They can't afford that again.
No. If they have a bad first month,
Oh
like,
God, the panic button's gonna be pressed over there.
it'll be every
Yeah.
day. We'll talk
The
about it on
media
this show.
circuses will be.
We'll
something.
need another show to talk about it.
the Connor McDavid
Yeah,
contract
Connor-
talk show.
just like a 24-hour stream of like Connor McDavid talk, but.
Oh jeez. Oh boy.
It's it's super interesting. So the Knobloch stuff, 3 years. That seems to be. And the other thing I saw too is Lindy Ruff is now the only head coach in the NHL that is
1 year.
1 year lame duck kind of.
Well, man, that's Buffalo for you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that is Buffalo for you.
They are some
See if
lame ducks.
See if this will be what year 14, year 15 without the playoffs. Yeah, I'm losing track of the years.
Free Rasmus Dahlin, man.
Yeah, I feel for that guy though, the captain over there in
Did
Buffalo.
you see him the other day in preseason?
No.
Coast to coast.
No, I didn't.
I think it was last night actually. Unreal effort by
Yeah.
he's wasted in Buffalo.
No, I mean,
unfortunately.
if you
Yeah.
if let's say, hypothetically, you put Rasmus Dahlin on a team that needs a number one left-handed defenseman, like I look at Detroit as one of them, even though as much as we hate Detroit, like if you bring Rasmus Dahlin and you put him in place of Ben Sherratt, Dahlin and Seider would be the best pairing in the NHL.
that is.
I mean, it's up there with
Yeah,
like
up
Caitlin
there.
McCarr,
Up there. Up there.
Quinn Hughes, Philip Roenick.
Well, the Red Wings could really use another top flight defenseman. It's like you have Sadi, you have Evanson, you're going to have Sandin Pellikka eventually.
Yeah.
And then a whole lot of nothing after that.
They need that,
Yeah.
next.
They need somebody else in there.
They need that top pair left-handed.
I'm sorry,
defenseman.
they're never going to break in the playoffs with this defensive core they have outside of. I mean, when Pellica arrives, I think they have a chance, but I don't know if that's going to be a guarantee this year. He's sort of fighting for a roster spot, right?
I will
there,
say
which is,
that John Gibson being in net is a lot better than having
it helps,
Cam Talbot or
but
Alex Lyon.
Do we think 2025 John Gibson's going to be the one that brings Detroit to the playoffs?
He's a lot better than Alex Lyon and Cam Talbot.
He's better than them. I mean, but this is a prime John Gibson. This
It
is
isn't-
like
no, but I think
Yeah.
you're going to get a motivated John Gibson.
We'll see. I think there's a lot hinging on John Gibson.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
like
for sure.
just to kind of finish up this defensive discussion. It's like you got Seider, you got Evanson, then you have Sherratt. Johansson's all right. Eric Gustafson, Justin Hall,
Eric
Travis
Gustafson.
Hamonic. Like, what on earth is this? I think the Hawks have a more besides though the top end, Seider and Evanson. The Hawks have a more impressive decor, but
I mean, that can turn into Renzel and Vlasic just like that.
Yeah, so that's something to monitor there in Detroit. It's like, I think you can improve the net minding a little bit, but that decor is
Suspect.
And it's like you have a good top six, but the
Yeah,
rest of the
they
team is not enough depth.
Might
so.
need John Gibson to be like vintage Anaheim Ducks John Gibson.
I think they will. Like I'm telling you, like I don't think there's enough there. They didn't do enough for me to say, oh, this is now a playoff team. I think they have to have a better year of John Gibson. Yeah, we could go on this. We'll have plenty of time to discuss Red Wings hockey with a Blackhawks legend Patrick Kane and monitor his chase to get back to the playoffs. So hopefully we'll see that this year. But yeah, I think
Wait. Two more. Hold on. Two more quick points. I want to shout out the girls while they announce their schedule. PWHL starts November 21st. Okay. So they announced a schedule at least. Still no Chicago stop on their like out of market tour games.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Somebody could like fact check me, but I heard that there was no Chicago on it. I looked from what I saw, there was no Chicago on it, and there is talks that they're looking to expand. Again, as soon as next year, they're debuting 2 new teams this year on November 21st with Vancouver and Seattle. There are talks that they're looking to expand, and like the list of cities like doesn't even mention, like the long list doesn't even mention Chicago. So
That's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Completely
I think
ridiculous.
It's unreal.
I think they're not even giving it a shot. So, but everybody should. So I figured I'd give them a quick shout out because of that. And the other thing too, I'm just like scrolling Instagram. Alex Steen getting named to Team Sweden's management group for the 2026 Olympics. Not really the most relevant thing. But it just gets me super fired up for the Olympics. Like with hockey right around the corner, I think like I'm so fired up for the Olympics. Like I just think it's going to be the best hockey that maybe has ever been played, and maybe that's my hot take.
Yeah, I mean the
That's
Four
my-
Nations hockey,
but-
I think was. So I mean, if it's better than that, then yeah, it probably would be better. Yeah. I think we're all super amped for the Olympics.
Yeah,
this
I mean,
year.
you're going to get more teams involved in that. You look at Germany. We were just talking about Mo Seider getting his chance to play for Germany. Lucas Reichel getting his chance to play for Germany. JJ Peterka. And who we're forgetting the best player to ever play for Germany, Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
No,
Lucas
Barkov
Reichel.
is tough, but
for Finland.
we'll still be
Yeah,
outside.
that is rough. Yeah, for them for sure. I mean, he means a ton for their country there and their hopes. Hard to imagine them winning it without Barkov. But Finland's always pesky. So, and you can look at them. You can look at Sweden. You can look at the U.S., Canada. I mean, it's 4 countries right there. You have a pretty good shot to win. Even the Czechs are probably getting the mix there.
Yeah, the Czechs. David Pastrnak finally getting his first
Czechs have
chance.
pretty much an NHL roster.
Dominic Kubalik.
Yeah,
he?
right. Yeah.
He might.
He's probably in the camp. I don't know. We'll see if he makes the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be pretty happy.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Cheer for our boy.
Yeah.
IIHF changing their logo was stupid too. I'm gonna jump in and say that it's
Yeah.
it's a goofy logo. There's other stuff to work on, like
Yeah, there's
Olympic year.
Greater priorities at play here. We're gonna have so much time to discuss.
Streams also next week. Streams are returning next week. That's the last bit of stuff that I have to say on the mic. But
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
Streams returning. Maybe we'll commit right now. You guys streaming the first game of the season Tuesday against Panthers. 4 o'clock.
Hawks, Florida.
Panthers,
Yeah.
that's right.
Absolute
We're
cinema.
That's a
Absolute
discussion
cinema.
to have after
In South Beach.
Yeah, that's a discussion to
I'm
have.
taking my talents to South Beach. Roberto Longo reference there from Charlie. I love that.
We will confirm on Monday's show, but be on the lookout for a stream possible for Tuesday's season opener against the Panthers.
We are fired up for
Weird
that season
time to
opener.
start.
Man.
Weird time to start. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock on a
Yeah,
Tuesday. Just
unreal.
wonderful job by the NHL schedule makers on that one, as usual. Also, wonderful job by them this time next Friday. Not have any NHL games going on their first week back. So just stick taps to the NHL scheduling team on that one. Just really a great job growing the game there. But that's a discussion for another time. And I think Monday's show will be fun to preview the season ahead, not just for the Blackhawks, but the NHL. I think that should be a fun one for sure. But in the queue. So anyway, that is our Friday CHR show.
Hey,
Thank you
we still have a segment we haven't gone over.
Oh my goodness,
Mr. Charlie Weber.
So, Weber's Wagers, I am going to quickly read the disclaimer, and then I'm going to
Disclaimer
give
proclaim.
you guys a very familiar pick that was mentioned on our conversation earlier. So here we go. The following content may discuss topics related to gambling. Gambling can be addictive and not suitable for all individuals. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Please gamble responsibly and be aware of the risks. So, with the NHL season starting up, and you heard my hot take earlier of Bedard 90-plus points, I am just going to give that out as a pick. It is a plus 600 odd bet. So
I saw 800 last night.
for 90-plus?
Yeah.
So, hey, we're catching it
They're
at the right
listening to
time.
CHR,
the
man.
odds are dropping indeed. So, 90-plus points on Connor Bedard's regular season is plus 600. So, 10 to win 60, 100 to win 600. However you guys space out your units there. Plus 600 bet on Connor Bedard for 90 points. I think it is, not a lock at all. It's obviously a long shot futures bet.
It's a little bit of a risk, but we like risks
But no,
here.
we love it. We love our boy. So we're gonna take all that.
Look at the cojones on Charlie here. I love that.
Yeah, plus 600.
Let's go.
Future seasons bet for that one, and then homer pick Cubs money line plus 128 tomorrow in Milwaukee at 1 p.m.
Let's go Brewers.
Got to get a hot start to the NLDS.
No. I'm saying no to Justin right now.
So there you go. Two Weber's
I'm
wagers
not
for
going
this
to be
Friday.
one of those cringe Chicago sports people who's like, actually, it's okay to cheer for both
You
teams.
mean like John Cusack?
You pick one team and you cheer for one team. You don't cheer for both teams. Utter woke nonsense. Get back to your...
cheer for one team and one team only.
That's right. All right, Charlie. Right back at it.
All right.
That's it.
That was the two picks.
That's
Cubs,
it.
Yeah,
All right.
Cubs money line. Connor Bedard 90-plus points for the season.
All right. Best of luck there for Friday's Weber's Wage. I'm so sorry. I normally I'm so amped
No,
up,
you're all
and
good.
I
You're
just,
all good.
man, we've been talking so long today. I
jam-packed
just
show.
completely brushed my mind there. So that's my apologies, my hand up there, my mistake. All right, that will do it for Friday's CHR episode. Absolutely fantastic show today. Fantastic week of action. And we are so amped up for NHL regular season action to come back next week. We will see you then.
Yep. See you.